bring in Beau White for his first senior game of football for the Tigers, and I just think that they've got pace that can really trouble Sale. However, in saying that, the game that we called for Morwell with Traralgon, we said that mid-call. Traralgon just could not keep up with the pace of the Tigers. They made some adjustments at half-time. They came out, restricted their run, worked out which players they needed to stop, and they did, and they managed to get the win. It'll be interesting. It'll be a real coaching battle, I think, this afternoon to see who can get the upper hand, who can win the midfield battle. Jonty McGuinness isn't a tall ruckman. We need to Bensdale too. Maybe Bensdale's that side that makes opposition sides look good, because they looked all over the Redlegs in that particular day, and I'm probably judging my tip on that. So, no, but I'm comfortable with it. I'm very comfortable with it. All right, I guess it's time. The reserves has finished. We should wrap up the Gippsland Live pre-game coverage, and you've gone with Morwell, Paul, by what margin?
And I think it might be really close near the end, and there'll probably be a shot after the siren from 45 on an angle, and it'll probably go to the right and then swing in. Oh, hang on, that was last night. Yeah, Morwell by 5.
Morwell by 5. I'm going to go the Tigers, so it's going to be Paul and I up against the Popplestones this afternoon. I'm going to go the Tigers by 12 points this afternoon, because it's going to be an absolute belter of a day at the moment. The Morwell Rec Reserve ground in great conditions. The Tigers and the Magpies about to get things underway. And
last 5 minutes, but isn't there the difference in height between McGuinness and also Abbas? And Abbas is such an athletic ruckman, as we know as well.
You'll see this straight up, Paul. I'll put the tap down straight to Abbas. I'm not too sure who will win the clearance, but that's how I think things might pan out in this opening ruck contest. The umpire is about to get things underway. The first corner for LV Forklifts, and it is Abbas and McGuinness, and Abbas got the hand on it, as predicted. Free kick goes to the Magpies, though, and Shannon Lang will be the one who has it right in the middle of the ground. He looks to his right. They'll go in that direction. Brad Dess will be the target. Won't quite get there. The Tigers will come in front and pick it off through Tom Cale across half-back. And that's what they'll need to do. They'll go to him a lot, the Magpies. So the Tigers need to be strong. Cale goes backwards, only short. Anderson got called to play on. Quick one to Linton, who kicks and clears his defensive 50. Going back with the flight, nicely done there, is Josh Galea, who's been used a little bit across half-back. He generally is a forward. He'll quickly play on here by hands to Jacobson, and goes nicely to Abbas, who marks. Gives the handball back to Jacobson, who ran on. Centre half forward. It's going to be picked up by Sweeney across half-back.
So Sweeney from left half-back, he's got a little bit of room to wiggle, and he uses that room nicely. Finds Glenane in the centre of the Morwell Oval, who goes straight down the corridor. Can he find a target? Nearly did. Outnumbered 2-1 were Sale's forward, but playing was the call. The player for Sale was Gooch, who can be dangerous when given an opportunity, but it's a turnover. Free kick Morwell's way, and they, momentarily ease the pressure. Only gets as far as their half-back line before it's picked up by Allison. Jaden goes to the top of the square, where again the Tigers have got the numbers around the ball. They'll hold that ball in just 10 metres from Sale's goals. They're kicking to the left-hand side of the radio, or the Morwell end, and there'll be a ball up.
I'll tell you what, fellas, I think signs very early are good for Morwell. They've had the ball in their hand fairly significantly to start with. A couple of little turnovers, but a few silky moments as well.
Absolutely. Abbas got this one down again. Bailey was there at ground level, couldn't get a handball out. They jump on top of him, and the umpire will do it again.
Yeah, you pointed out Abbas as well. I was thinking, what an intimidating figure to have in the middle. He clearly won that opening bounce. I think with a quality ruckman like that, you should have plenty of opportunities to tap it down to one of your boys.
Well, he wins it again right on cue. Got it to Bailey. It was a quick kick off the ground. It's been rushed through, though, in the end for a minor score. 2 minutes in. First goal of the day to the Magpies.
LB Forklift scored, has that one behind to Sale, and we are, as Darryl said, 2 minutes into the first quarter.
So Zach Anderson has the ball for the Tigers. He goes towards the outer side, where, again, they're finding some room quite comfortably, and that player is Orangi, who in defensive 50 takes the ball, plays on short, nicely done, finds his man in Cantrell. Outside defensive 50, he'll kick along the line you'd expect. No, geez, they're not afraid to go short and change direction. In fact, they've given ground through 3 possessions, and they go from left-hand side of the ground to right-hand side of the ground, where they find Schneider, who again goes down the line. Nicely done, though, by Jonty McGuinness, who can use his bulk against the athleticism and height of Abbas. And here they go, the Magpies.
Martin was the one delivered in towards Descent. Lets it bounce. Couldn't get it on the hop. Ball stays in, though. Descent gave a handle out to Glenane. Too hot for him. And Snyder pushes it over right in front of the Morwell social rooms. It's 1 point margin to Sale.
Yeah, I've said it before. I think the ball has been in the Tigers' hands more than it has the Magpies. But just the Magpies seem to be using it more effectively when they've got it.
Glenane, a quick kick from that stoppage to a dangerous spot. Tigers have got some numbers though, and Brown is the one. Swoops on it. Left foot kick goes out wide. Here's the speedster in McDonald. Gets there, drops the mark though in the end. Then tries to crush his way through as DeCerio. His handball though was picked off by Galea. Kick down to the wing. Giath is there. Out there chasing as well is Thomas Glenn for the Magpies. Giath did well. Worked his opponent off it. Sold some candy. Back on the inside. Right foot kick and nicely done to Beau White in the first gamer for the Tigers. Might be a little bit too far out to score. He's on a really tight angle. As the Magpies get back, they slow things up.
Get the feeling the ball's on the ground. Morwell could cause some problems as they play on quickly.
To Anderson. And that's Wade Anderson unloads. Minor score.
Yeah, it would have been nice to see a little bit of reward there. I think they've had the ball in their hands plenty. They've just been a little bit unclean in these first opening minutes. But a team that, for being the underdogs in this match, certainly look like they're playing with a lot of confidence despite the lack of ability to convert just there.
Played 4 minutes. LV Forklift scoreboard shows both teams on one behind.
So Sale go towards the outer side of the ground. Abbas brings the ball to the ground. Will he find the boundary? He will. So the ball beats players, and there's half a dozen or so around that. Sharon, around about left half forward flank where the boundary umpire will throw this back in. It'll be Newsell to do the ruck work, and he'll do it against McGuinness. Ball comes to ground. Again, the Tigers at ground level. Hands on the ball, but Sale have hands on the player, and neither one can move. So McAuliffe was the last player up. Nice tackle by Simpson, and the umpire will throw this one back up.
Musil tapped it backwards, but it was picked off though there by the run. They go, work their way to Serio, gave it off to Allison, goes to centre half forward. Oh, nice. Good, strong mark there by Gooch. Rolls around, he's about 60 metres out. Open forward line, decides to come out wide to Glenane, who just put 1 mid up, then dropped it. Cayley works him over, puts a tackle on when he didn't have the football. He shoveled it out. Martin couldn't get a handle on it. In there was Jacobson as well. Laverty tries to stand up in it. There's some good Sale names. Getting on a little bit in age, but certainly they can still play this game of football, and they've been good servants for the Magpies. They get a stoppage right on their attacking 50.
Fellas, for a relatively slippery ball, that ground still looks a little bit soggy out there. I thought that was great hands by Gooch. Is that a common thing we see down here with Gooch?
Gooch is a very strong centre-half forward, absolutely. They win the stoppage again. Ganane got it back to Lang, steps around one, kicks it to a hot spot. Going back, though, coming the other way is Murphy. And the best left footer in the comp, I'd say, kicks it out wide towards Beau White.
So Beau White now, just outside defensive 50, left half forward in flank along the line. Kicks to space, the race is on, and guess what? Tigers win the race through Cody McDonald. Turns, inside, outside, comes in towards the centre. No, now he's getting himself out of trouble. Nicely done. Orangi, inside forward 50, gives off again. Probably overusing the ball. Will it play up on them? It won't. It'll end up with Giath, who tries to kick from an impossible angle. Impossible being the key word. Offline, 1 minus score. Paul Carter.
It's 2 behind, 2 points to Morwell, 1 behind, 1 point Sale. LV Forklift scoreboard. We've played 6.5 minutes.
Fellas, we've referred to Abbas a few times. I know he's a big guy out there. Do you know his stats exactly how tall this guy is? Because he looks big, but then when he jumps, it just looks quite scary.
Yeah, I think he can jump as high as what he is. And he's probably 6'7" or 8 thereabouts. Murphy off the back of the pack for the Tigers just blazed inside forward 50, and it's going to be picked up by Will Leslie, and he's able to play on, switch the play, comes to the near side. Here's McLaren, gets around one. No, he doesn't, not quite. It was actually Whitford in the end. Ball's in dispute. Freeman tries to come up from half forward and win the contest, and he's a long way from his centre half forward spot, but the umpire will ball it up.
He just took a bit of time to get up then, Whitford, didn't he? Tackled hard to the ground. Probably should have found his feet as quickly as he could. But anyway, I tell you what, a lot of players playing numbers behind the ball. So the work through the midfield is good, but it gets inside their forward 50s as Lang tries to go and do exactly that. But guess what happens? Exactly what I was trying to describe. Cut off again inside their forward 50 by Murphy, who again goes laterally. Risky kick. His teammate up to it. Taken illegally was Boyd Bailey. His arms were taken from under him. And a free kick goes the Tigers' way.
A little slow to get up there as well, Boyd. As Bailey goes lateral to Zach Cantrell. He's on his defensive 50. The margin 1 point favour the Tigers. Comes inboard. Beautiful kick to Anderson. That's Zach. There's 2 Andersons out there today for the Tigers, Zach and Wade. That one goes out towards Hecker. He gets it towards Musil, bounced at his feet, then lost the handle on it, lost the Sale numbers around this. That was Geordie Desson off the ground, gave it to Sweeney, back to Desson, then he had a fumble. They go work 1, 2, 3. Sweeney had it again. Now the Tigers have got some numbers. Here's McDonald, got some pace, turns, kicks around his body. Here's Doove, took on the tackle of Sweeney, lost the footy, and the umpire said that's holding the ball every day of the week.
Yeah, probably tried to do a little bit too much there, and a little bit of feeling in this game too as the boys start to work themselves out. So they'll play on quickly. They do it nicely through Swansky, who they change direction, come from the outer side of the ground to the grandstand side where the TR commentary position is, and Bowen kicks to the advantage he hopes, and towards Simpson. Nicely done. Freeman met the ball, dispossessed again and through numbers. Good work by Morwell. Cantrell goes inboard searching for, can't find a teammate right half forward flank. Bottom of the pack is Simpson, who was taken high. He'll get the free kick, and guess what? Plays on quickly, goes towards the outer side where one of his teammates was on his knees just gasping for breath, but Tesario was alert and ready to take the mark. He takes the mark. With the Morwell goals 40 metres behind him, he goes towards the outer side.
Yeah, poor kick. 2 Tigers, and Musil was able to just come in front and take the mark. Nice little kick inboard to Duve. They play on quickly by hand. Hecker goes to Giath over his head. Sale's got some numbers. It was 3 on 2, and clearing that out was Swarsky. Nice little neat kick out to the wing where Jared Freeman presented. He's high on the wing area. Goes to centre half forward. Geordie Dessert was there. Goes up and marks. Swings around. It's 1-on-1. His brothers in the goal square. Brad Dessert, Matt Murphy. Over the back, Murphy. Oh, he's been super. In 3 1-on-1 contests, Murphy's out-muscled Brad Dessert on all 3 of them. And with a nice little neat kick now, a little bit tongue-in-cheek with the best left footer in the comp here, but that one found the target.
Yeah, very good. I tell you what, they're not scared to go short, defensive 50. Not too bad if your skills are hot. Throw was the call against Morwell. Goes Sale's way. The way of Bowen. Mitch Bowen leads on. Find a target. No, gave it up way too easy. And Abbas takes the easiest of marks.
Tyson, they seem to be going every single time to Brad Destin, don't they? They need to find other options.
Yeah, they're certainly limited for options, or they seem to be limited in their own mind for options down there. There's plenty of space. I'm not sure why they keep targeting that one man.
Yeah, Bailey had it on the outer defensive 50, gave it to Musil, comes inboard again on the 45 to Murphy. He's just racking them up. And Matt Murphy decides to go lateral. They go a little bit slow now, the Tigers. Went to Zach Anderson. He'll go back some 30 metres to Max Linton inside defensive 50 now. And Linton will have it so. He's got a Bassett through centre-half back area. He decides to ignore that one. Congratulations to Isaac Abbas. Had a baby last couple of days as well. So well done to him and his family.
We should just clarify his wife actually had the baby.
Yes, absolutely. Abbas was there for support, of course. As that ball now is in the Abbas direction. Handballed over the top. Musil's there. The big ruckman's working well at ground level. Cantrell went inside to McAuliffe. Wasn't 15, got called to play on, but a beautiful kick to Duve. Running past was Bailey. Duve's looking for someone to lead. He'll go to the one-on-one. Giap will have fly. Gets underneath it a little bit. Sat on his head. Skorski was there. Gave it back now to Jack Johnson of the Magpies. Squares it out wide and found Shannon Lang.
Does Jack Johnson play much defence?
Nope.
He's probably, you get the feeling there are Jack Johnson short up forward. But anyway, you can only have so many Jack Johnsons. Importantly, the ball is up forward now and it's going through Dessert. That's the type, Jordan type. Kick to the top of the square, or at least that was the wish, but it will, an unfavourable bounce will fall in the arms of the Tigers. And again, they're able to work their way out. Not scared to use the ball, as Musil has it, goes inboard, does it nicely too. Finds Linton, and eventually they turn it over once more, Tice.
I thought there's just been a little bit of hesitation amongst the Tigers the first couple of minutes. I've seen a couple of opportunities out of defence for a switch, which was on. They seem to be tinkering with it a little, and as a result, keep turning it over. It's going to be interesting to see if they address that at quarter time.
You get the feeling, don't you, that they're trying to spread them in the back half and open up and use their pace when there's some gaps to be found, but probably just 1 or 2 kicks too many.
Well, Kane Martin has the kick right on the top of the 50. Left foot kick. It's got the accuracy. Has it got the distance? No. Marked actually on the last line of defence, and down there was Linton in the end. His kick, though, missed the target. Inside forward 50s Paul Carter for Gippsland Ozuka.
10 to Sale and 6 to Morwell. Morwell controlling the ball, though. 27 marks to 16 at this stage.
Yeah, a lot of those, though, are defensive 50, aren't they? A lot of chipping around just at the moment.
1 point to margin in favour of the Tigers. Here's Rob Popplestone.
Thank you. Ball to be thrown in just around about the intersection of forward 50 and boundary. Grandstand side. Good chance here. Kick around the corner. It was from the man we spoke of, Jack Johnson. Really should have done more with that. Kick from about 35 around the body. Didn't make the distance. Got a bit too much meat on the ball And now the ball's turned over and Morwell ease the pressure. How long for? That's the key. Left half-back flank. They've got some numbers to run with. They use the numbers well. Centre half-back, they come through. McFarlane. He's got himself into trouble though. Turnover. Quick hands it was too from Simpson. Opens up the door. Have they made the most of it? They have not. Kane Martin's left foot offline. Minor score.
We said before the game that it's going to be interesting just to watch the rust wear off a couple of these legs coming back from a few weeks off. Really interesting. Both players, I don't know what your perspective is, boys. Both teams appear as though they've got a very clear game plan in mind. They know where they want to go, but haven't quite got the skills to execute as they turn it back over.
Exactly right on cue, Tyson, as the kick out of fullback was a shocker, landed in the hand of Mitch Bowen, and he didn't make the most of it either, put it out of bounds on the full.
We've played just on 14 minutes in this first quarter. LV forklift scoreboard showing both teams on 2 behinds, 2 points.
And of course, hire from Latrobe Forklifts and Gippsland Wacanoisin for scissor lift booms and forklifts, mini excavators, dingos and telehanders are on Stratton Drive in Tarralgon, as this time the Tigers get it out towards Galea on defensive 50 on the far side of the ground here at Morwell Rec Reserve. Down the line to White. Couldn't quite handle on it. Good front and square there was from Jacobson. Hambles over the top though. Martin now picks it off for Sale. They're about 60 metres out. They go backwards now. This one goes to the top of the 50 by foot in the front spot. Boyd Bailey. The umpire will give it man in front. And Bailey takes the mark for the Tigers. They're under a bit of pressure now, the Tigers.
Yeah, they are. They've got an AFL game plan, but with Gippsland and Latrobe players, so they're just a level off. You see what they're trying to do, but as Tyson pointed out, just not capable of times. And as he also pointed out, the lack of game plan the last few weeks just causing a lot more turnovers than what we've come to expect is Jonty McGuinness. A fill-in ruckman of sorts, takes the mark, goes short. He's kicked in behind a teammate, but only just. In fact, I found his coach, and that's always a good leg to find, Jack Johnston, who in turn goes short to Martin, right half forward flank. And this is probably what they need to do, just be a little bit more patient going forward, but if you don't, well, I tell you what, he's been as good as he's been for most of the first part of this day. He's taken a whole lot of marks, hasn't he, your man up forward in defence, but the free kick on this occasion has gone the way of Brad Descent, who you'd say, without the pressure and directly in front from 45, might bring up the first major of the afternoon. Scores locked away at 2 points each. Brad Descent has his head over the ball, walks from inside the centre square, will kick from around about 45 metres off the boot, not too bad. Yeah, pretty happy with the Magpies visitors. First blood, first goal, good work. And finally, Tyson, we've seen a goal.
Yeah, I think that's just desserts as well. I don't know if we have stats on how long the ball has been down in their forward line for this first quarter, but it seems that it's difficult for the Tigers to get it across the halfway line for much of this first quarter. I think with the attack that we've seen from Sale, it's probably about time that that's been converted.
I'd say out of the 16 minutes, Tyson, probably about 10 of it. It's in the Sale half. Seen they've had 13 inside 50s to 6. And that first goal has come at the 16-minute mark of this first quarter. The LB Forklift scoreboard showing Sale leading by that 6 points, 1-2-8, 2 behinds, 2 points.
So Gooch went in the ruck duties. Abass thumped it probably 15 metres, and Sale get the free kick for holding the man. So they've got to work on the centre clearances at the moment, the Tigers, as Johnson had it, goes to centre half forward. Geordie Descent in the front spot. They'll pay the mark or chop in the arms, either way. And Geordie Descent will have it. The man on the mark's 52 metres out from goal. So he'll look to go to his brother again, Willie. To the fat side. Here they go. In the way of Descent. 2 Tigers go in front. And Abass was the one. No mark was paid. Comes to ground level. This is Jordan Dowsett. Hambles over the top. He's going to get the 1-2. He'll get it back. Dowsett now. Left foot shot on goal. If you don't mind. He's put it through. I think he might have right from the boundary line. It's a left foot shot. And it's all clear.
That's a beautiful goal. I want to bring it back to that centre bounce for a moment, guys. We know Abass is big. We know he can jump. We know he's an intimidating figure in the ruck. I'm not convinced that just a 15-metre thump hit and hope is the best option. If you're winning hit-outs so consistently, why not come up with a more effective plan as to who to tap it to and where? Surely that would be a better way to clear the ball from the centre.
We now have a 12-point lead to Sale with 2 goals in 2 minutes. They are 2-2-14 on the LB Forklift scoreboard. Morwell 2 behinds, 2 points.
So it's interesting when he does it again, that big thump out, clears it away. Sale got some numbers there. This time Giaps won the footy at ground level, gave it to McFarlane, wrapped up in the tackle and holding the ball. And again, exactly like you said, Tyson, they do it again. And it's interesting, they've got the backup ruckman, Dan Musil, in there as well.
Yeah, I just think when you've got that ability, there's no need just to hit and hope. You've got so many options. In fact, you should be at a massive advantage in that part of the ground, at that part of the ball.
So right half forward flank now, the Magpies with the ball. It's Shannon Lang, who goes short. A little bit of room to move. Probably a bit too much room as far as Morwell are concerned. They kick to the top of the square where they've had some winners. Jack Johnson flew high. Did he take the ball?
Yep.
I reckon he may have. He had the leap. And when he's got some room to move, he can be dangerous, can't he? Jack Johnson, nice mark. Good pack mark. And I tell you what, in the space of 2 minutes, they can kick 2 goals after 2 centre breaks against the odds. Jack Johnson, 10 metres out on a 45-degree angle. Surprisingly enough, these aren't bread and butter kicks when you've got an angle like this. If anything, they normally go right. But Jack Johnson's a good forward. He'll kick from 15 metres, maybe even closer. Staggered runner. Tell you what, he's nailed it. Beautiful. Hit the nail on the head. Straight over the goal umpire's head, and Sale start to dance away.
I tell you, we talk about moisture on the ground, we talk about the floods, we talk about what's been going on around here. I thought this was going to be an ugly, slippery game, despite the fact the sun's poking its head through the clouds at the moment. There's been some incredibly strong overhead marks being taken today. I'm not sure if I'm just witnessing some really good, strong hands, or whether that ball's a little bit drier than what we anticipated.
Yeah, 100%. I think you might be exactly right. Down there at ground level for Carpet Country, Paul Carter.
It's a 18-point lead to Sale, and we've played 19 minutes on the LB Forklift scoreboard.
So this time Musil does the ruck duties, and Gooch, a quick one there by Bailey, kicks it towards the top of the 50. Jath in the front spot, lets it bounce. Tigers are looking to run onto this one. Arangi was there, bounced over his head, and Sweeney was there for the Magpies to swoop on it, and a chiselling little kick on the far side found Jaden Allison. So they slow it up again now, the Magpies. Just on the defensive 50. We've travelled 20 minutes. The margin is 18 points in favour of Sale after putting on 3 goals in the space of 4 minutes. The Tigers have it now, though, through Max Linton at half-back. Look for that inboard kick again. They've been persistent on it all this first quarter. Johnson was there, wrapped up in a call of tackle, and the umpire will ball it up. It's a high risk, high reward. At the moment, it's not quite paying off for them, but do they continue to come inboard?
Well, it's a high risk with no reward for Morwell at this stage. You just get the feeling there was a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of adrenaline running around, but Sale just appeared to have settled better after those initial 10 or 15 minutes, and the scoreboard reflects that. Ball in the centre of the oval now. Morwell might get their chance. Free kick on the outer side of the ground. It'll go the way of Tyler Brown. Those long sleeves. Kicks along the line inside forward 50. Now, this is a bit of a problem here. Giant, the target far too small. Rove nicely. Find a way through. Nah, he couldn't, but Sale will apply a tackle. Is it a fair tackle? It's not too high. It'll go the way of Boyd Bailey. So Boyd Bailey, possibly, from 45 metres out in a 45-degree angle, gets his first chance, Tice, to put the Tigers on the scoreboard in a big way.
I think it's interesting looking at that. I reckon that's the 8th or 9th inside 50 that we've seen from the Tigers this quarter. I still don't. I think he's very likely to be lining up for goal here because it was a free kick awarded against Sale. It wasn't due to a direct kick or a clean kick that has the ball in their hands and an opportunity to goal right now.
So Bailey, 45-degree angle, 22 minutes have passed, left footer, puts it on its way. It's across the face of goal. It might not even score in the end. It goes out of bounds on the full. And just that Tigers forward line, we said they were small, they're going to be short, but they seem to be bobbing it in and not quite the right option at this stage.
No, they're one tall short.
Yep. They are. They need 2 about.
You know what I mean? I think someone like Musil is used as a forward at times, and he's done a pretty good job. He's a competitor. Rather than Giath being the target, he's not the man. And Abbas can't be in 2 places at once. He contests the ruck, but here they go. Johnson over the top in front of the TR frame. Commentary position. They move forward. Went searching for, couldn't find Glenade. And now there's a turnover. Goes Tigers' way. Good work too. It was by a man in Patrick Charles. And he gives off to Schneider, who goes. He's got a teammate with a bit of room to move to. And that's young James Jacobson. Inboard. Risky kick in towards the corridor. They might journeying around and they do it right now through Berkeley McFarlane. 50-metre free kick for coming off the mark too quickly. Geez, they hurt you for an innocuous movement on the mark. It's almost instinctive to do it. And I know we see it at every level, but gee, what was a possession in the centre of the oval now becomes a kick at goal after a 50 inverted comma, possibly 70 metre.
Other way around, 30 metre penalty maybe. So Brandon McCauley from 45 leans back on it but puts it straight through the middle, and that's what the Tigers needed at the 23-minute mark.
I don't want to be too hard on them just here because I know they've just slotted their first goal for the quarter. But again, that inside 50 wasn't due to clean play. It wasn't due to good ball use, I would argue. But it was due to a free kick being paid. They were gifted a 30-metre free kick, potentially, depending on how you see it. But I don't know, fellas, what do you take of that? I think there's a little bit more room for improvement when it comes to the use of the ball, especially in the forward half of their ground.
Yeah, I see Musil down there inside forward 50 now getting a bit of attention because the answer wasn't Giants competing in the air. As they go forward again now, they'll go short. And they do it nicely through. Patrick Charles again inside forward 50. And again, 2-on-1 the contest. So they go searching for Jai. If he's not the man, there's a go-to down there in forward. And I tell you what, they ran that out too comfortably. Wouldn't have been surprised to get that a deliberate out of play, Paul Carter.
And we played 24 minutes in this first quarter. The LV Forklift scoreboard has a 12-point lead to Sale, 3-2-20 to Moore, 1-2-8.
That boundary throw in, Abbas tapped it into the centre of the ground and no one could get onto it. We got a stoppage there. Coming up on the bottom of the pack there was Jack McLaren. So a ball up, 45 metres out from goal. Tigers pressing, looking for 2 goals in a row. Tap there, Lang was the one who won it. Got it out wide to Swarsky. And the siren sounds. It went 24 and a half minutes that first quarter. Sale kicked 3 in a row and it only took them 3 minutes to do so. From the 16-minute mark onwards, and then the Tigers get one back at the 23-minute mark, a much-needed one. And the quarter-time score sees Sale 3-2-20, leading the Tigers 1-8. You're listening to Gippsland Live right here on TRFM. It is round 9 action at the Morwell Rec Reserve, and it's all for Harvey Norman Electrical Gippsland. You can save $628 on the LG 65-inch.
Gippsland 3 goals to, 1 goal behind the home ground Hawks. Tarwin.
Are you okay, Pop? You need a spell?
1 sec, let me just press this button.
All right, okay. We'll go across to...
Tarwin, 2 goals, 2. Talk about the players being rusty. Tarwin, 2 goals, 2. Newborough, 4 goals.
Well, the second quarter is underway, and knocking it down was Abbas, but quickly Johnson swooped on it, kicked around his body. We'll get a Leongatha score for you in just a moment if this forward thrust happens for the Magpies. It doesn't. Linton was there. McFarlane, though, left it behind. Laverty swooped on it, gave a handball up. Here's Zach Anderson for the Tigers. Kicks it to Kane Arangi. Half forward flank. They run. The handball just lands in the hand of McAuliffe. Kicks to the fat side. Wade Anderson. It's over his head. Back there is Thacker and Anderson. Thacker's in the front spot. You look for the boundary and doesn't find it in the end. Yes, he does. It's over. Boundary throw in.
I tell you, it went, I'm not sure of the player's name. It's gone just over his head for the Tigers there and out of bounds. I still liked that entrance into the forward 50 towards Wade Anderson. It seemed a lot cleaner despite a little bit too heavy on that kick. That's a good sign, I think, for the Tigers.
Quick score from the Moe Leongatha game, Paul?
2-point lead to Leongatha, 2-3-15 to Moe 2-1-13.
Morwell into attack and inside forward 50. They trail by 12 points here at Morwell Rec Reserve. Do the home side. 3 goals, 2 Sale. Morwell 1 goal, 2. Morwell into attack and 30 metres from their goals on a 45-degree angle. The umpire will ball this one up. Pack of players around the ball as we've come to expect today. Nicely done, Musil. Well, nearly took the ball out of the ruck and tried to feed a handball off. He was dispossessed. Giant picks up the ball, tries to fight his way through and can't get through. So, consequence of a pretty good tackle there by Shannon Lang. Keeps the ball inside. The ball will be bounced up this time 40 metres from Morwell's goals.
McGuinness tapped it down, although the Tigers were there. Bailey had it ripped out of his hands by Jack Johnson. He goes back the other way. Gave it across to the run from Glenn. Kick around his body was short at the toes of his target in Allison, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in. Tyson, what do you make of that first quarter of the Gippsland League?
Well, I thought it was quite impressive. As I said, a little bit of rust, I thought, especially on the Tigers. Both seemed like they got an adamant game plan in mind, just not able to execute as cleanly as they probably would have hoped to.
Well, on all fours there, squeezing in a handball. That was Sweeney, but was picked up by Jacobson. Left foot kick goes in. Leslie will go up and mark and pick it off, and then just waltz out of his defensive 50, kick to the wing area. Gooch is the target. It bounced. Does it sit for the big fella? It gets to his toes. He had a fumble, won it, then lost it. McFarlane with a good strong tackle. They're trying to drag it in now. He's in trouble, Gooch. He falls to ground. He was saved by the umpire, and a couple of moments ago Well, they could have let it go and it could have been holding the ball. We've got a ball up. True centre wing. Poppy?
Have to. Johnny McGuinness will be up against Musil. I reckon Musil got the tap. Free kick. Behind play against a Bass. I'd say I didn't quite pick what it was for, but it's definitely against the Tigers.
Did they think Abbas was the ruckman, not Musil?
Possibly. And Musil won the tap, and Abbas wasn't really in the contest.
No.
Sale have the ball. They threaten forward 50. Won't make it out the back. Nicely done. Good market too by Gooch. It's been dangerous. He'll kick to right of the centre squeeze. Out number 2 to 1.
Oh, well done.
And it was a good gutsy mark by Zach Anderson. Last line of defence. They changed direction, and here they go.
Yeah, Cale on the far side. Gets it out to the run now. Here's Tyler Brown sliding down on his knees, taking a mark. Quickly up and plays on. Inboard 45. Kicks a good one. Arangi, though, dropped the mark he should have taken. Here's McDonald. Gave it to Arangi. They're under pressure. Slung down in a DeCirio tackle. Play on to the umpire. Ball in dispute. DeCirio goes again, and the umpire says, my ball. The Magpies stood up.
Hasn't that been the theme of the afternoon, fellas? Out of defence for the Tigers, big tick. Midfield starts to get a little bit questionable, enters back into that defensive 50. Going to be really interesting to see if we can get that big tick going all the way through the ground later in this quarter.
Well, Allison from the stoppage tried to bust his way through, left the footy behind. Another Magpies decided to take on 2 Tigers, and in the end, we'll have a stoppage. That was McLaren from Sale. Couple of minutes in, 4 minutes in, the margin's still at 12 points. No advancement on the score from quarter time.
Left half forward flank, McGuinness into attack for Sale, contests the ruck, also works hard at ground level, sees a teammate, and the teammate was taken too high. I reckon it could be Jack Johnson, who's starting to have an impact on this game, isn't he? We know him as a key forward, but he's starting to work wherever that ball is, and the theory is you always have your best players around the ball. He goes long looking for Tessent. Can't find that player. Punched inside the danger zone. Dangerous work. Spills out. Quick kick for goal. Smothered Sale. Pack of players around it. Can they ease the pressure? They can, but only for a split second.
Oh, he's lucky.
Before a free kick's been paid, and it goes the way of Boyd Bailey. Tell you what, Boyd Bailey was under all sorts of pressure.
Like a basketballer, putting it through his legs around the back.
Yeah. He looked like a Harlem Globetrotter there for just a second. Anyway, he played on quickly, found his teammate in Zach Anderson, who in turn finds another teammate, and I speak of Braden Doove, who took a good strong mark under pressure as he plays on in towards the corridor.
Oh, goes short, not 15, the umpire said. It was to McFarlane, so he got the handball back. Doove delivers to Arangi, went for a chest mark, not the best one. Snyder was front and square, gave it back to Arangi under pressure. No opportunity, but doesn't matter. Still holding the ball, they reckon. And Laverty will have it at centre-half back for Sale.
Now, they've been standing up strong, haven't they, around that half back line for Sale, and they've been falling down, I guess, so it's a bit of both. Morwell falling down, Sale staying strong as they come now towards Sale's half forward line, picking it up nicely was McFarlane, feeds it off equally as well and finds his teammate in Boyd Bailey. He's in the centre of the field now after doing some good work in defensive 50 and taken ball and all over the boundary line, but not letting go of the ball was Shannon Lang. So good tackle. Brandon McAuliffe was the player that tackled Lang. Took ball and all over the boundary line.
I reckon they're running with each other. I think McAuliffe is certainly staying by Lang's side. He's been one of his shadows for the afternoon, and this time McDonald got it to Musil. Squeezed a handball to Brown. Back to McDonald. Left foot chip kick to the pocket. Jath is there. Couldn't quite get it on the full, and neither on the hop, and it goes over for a boundary throw-in.
I wonder whether Giath might be better served either further up the ground around half forward, maybe even on a wing. He's got a... there was a whisper that he may have a bit of an ankle.
Just coming back from that ankle injury, yeah. So maybe just trying to ease him in the game a little bit. But you're right, they might look for a little bit extra run. This ball's inside their forward 50. Can they work something from the stoppage? Crashing his way through was Kyle Simpson. And lots of players around this will get a ball up.
What I have liked from the Tigers the last couple of minutes, really emphasised by Brandon McAuliffe as he's taken the opposition over the boundary line there, is they seem to be very quick on the contested ball at the moment. There's not too many stray plays running around.
Well, from the stoppage, here's Jacobson. Kicks to a hot spot. Wade Anderson got shoved in the back. The umpire said no, play on. Has to fight at ground level now. Top of the square it is. Sale defence under pressure, but they stand up tall again. And another stoppage inside their forward 50. Got to get some reward for effort now, the Tigers. They trail by 12 points. This time, though, Laverty was there. The experienced sweep to handle over the top to the Leslie. Ran down by McDonald, and that's holding the ball, and that's what you want from your small forwards. And he'll get a shot on goal for the Tigers. Look to get the first goal of this second quarter.
I think when you're contested ball, when the tackles start to pay rewards like what we've just seen there, it can serve as a real encouragement to the rest of the team to be reminded to keep that tackle pressure up. Because if you can tackle and the ball can be turned over or rewarded to you as a free kick, there's big rewards for psychologically, I think, for the rest of the match.
If you can convert here, it's a big turnaround, isn't it? Here we go with our man Scud.
Cody McDonald comes in, puts it on its way. He likes it. So do the boys behind the goals. They put it through and they get first blood in the second quarter.
That's really good. I want to just rewind the clock back to who I just spoke about momentarily, just a couple of minutes ago, Brandon McAuliffe. I think his contested ball on the wing closest to us was a real inspiration to the boys to, hey, let's make sure we keep this tackle pressure up. As you said, Poppy, to have that conversion to a goal for the effort that they've all put in, I think is a really big boost psychologically to these Tigers. Really like to see that so early in this quarter, and really important they keep it up for the rest of this half.
Just 6 points separating the team. 8-minute mark of the second quarter. The Gippsland Live scoreboard 2-2-14 Morwell, 3-2-20 Sale.
Now that's better by Abbas. The little death tap over the top to Bailey, who won the clearance, and Leslie though was able to mark inside defensive 50 of the Magpies. Squared it up and he got it out wide to a teammate. Last line back there was at Whitford. Come to the near side now, and Sweeney can take the mark in the defensive 50. As they just hold thing up. Big moments thanks to Monticello's this afternoon. Corona and Vic Bitter Stubbies, only $46.
Here we go. They'll come grand style. Oh, they kick up the boots. An absolute shocker by Sweeney. Hit a bloke eating a hot dog in the third row.
Is it boxer?
Yeah, so probably. So a free kick will go the Tigers' way. Not what you really want to see. Bo White with the ball in his hands at left half forward flank, playing on quickly inside the corridor. Could be crucial. Mutual over the top. Got his mitts on it. Couldn't take the ball in. At ground level, they fought hard and unfortunately couldn't get a clearance away was Cody McDonald. So the umpire will take control, but good work by Cody McDonald.
I really like that from Bo White. He's a player who clearly knew his strength, played on, outran the opposition. Quick entrance inside forward 50 for the Tigers.
Musil tapped it down. Here's McAuliffe snapping around his body, and they've got another one. The Tigers have got two in the second quarter, and all of a sudden, scores a level, Paul.
They are 3-2-20 apiece for Morwell and Sale. We've played 10 minutes in the second quarter, and that's on the Gippsland Live scoreboard. Yeah, boys, Bo White, I want to rewind to that effort. I know it wasn't as a result of that direct play that the goal was scored, but I thought, hey, to see a bloke back himself like that, run past the man on the mark, quick entrance inside forward 50, cleaner entrance inside forward 50 as well was a really nice stat. Hey, and you only have to look at the scoreboard to see that the changes that are being made in their entrance part of the game to the forward 50 is really paying off.
And the ruck work, Poppy?
Yeah, it was good. As Tice pointed out in the first 30 minutes, his ruck work wasn't as it should be. Rather than the thumping, he's placing, and he did it again then. A free kick, unfortunately, for entry into the square against Sale will go Morwell's way, but Abbas has changed his tact, and so he should.
Yep.
And now the Tigers will go forward, but the umpire says you were 2 degrees off.
Just a little bit of me time.
Yeah, it's all about me. As we go forward now, inside foot, and aren't they using the ball better? Abbas now presents up forward, takes a mark on the lead in front of McGuinness. He's outside forward 50, but you can see he's looking for the right option, and he thinks the right option could be to take a couple on. He's put himself out of trouble. Quick kick, round the body. Can they find a teammate? They can't at the moment, and Bailey's kick, although just 5 metres from the Tigers' goals, has put the Magpies under pressure.
Free kick.
And they've eventually won themselves a free kick, but you feel as though, with DeCirio with the ball now, you feel as though Sale can feel the pressure that's been applied to them, and they're starting to wilt under it as well.
Yeah. What about the umpire calling it back so they get along the mark? Don't you just call play on?
Yeah, I know. I was just most disappointed because they had a nice entrance inside forward 50 and it was called back. Then they had to do 2 in a minute, which they did. Didn't convert.
DeCirio kicks to the grandstand side. Johnson's the target. One bite, couldn't get the second. McFarlane gave a handball off to Bailey. He handballs over his shoulder. Here's Brown, shrugs a tackle. Great tackle in the end.
Oh.
And the sling tackle towards the end is nasty. He still won the free kick. The tackle was good to start with, but he followed on with a sling, and Brown gets up a little bit groggy. So Johnson quickly got the kick backwards to DeCirio. They've got the switch on, gets it to the far side. All on his own is Sweeney. Scores are locked up here at the Morwell Rec Reserve, 12 minutes in, second quarter. As Sweeney chips it towards Martin, and he can take it in front of Hecker on the halfback flank. The build-up is slow but precise. Inboard just got tunnelled by his own player, did Jordan Dowsett, and he's down. And, well, that was nasty by his own coach, Jack Johnson.
It was too, so he plays on quickly. And they look, both sides actually look better when they're a little bit more patient. But on that occasion, the turnover, good play more than anything else. Josh Galea took the strong mark, went short, found Zach Cantrell on that left leg. He looked sweet, but it's a risky move because it went to a 2-on-1 contest, the two being the opposition. And guess what? One of those two, which was Will Leslie, wins the ball for a tackle too high. And now on the half-back flank, the Magpies, who just need to settle a little bit, take some heat out of this game.
Shocker.
Have unfortunately done just the opposite and turned the ball over. Are they good enough to get out of it? They are, because they've got the numbers. No other reason. They've just got the numbers. Jaden Ellison, who's been pretty busy today, goes towards the half-back flank. And now they start to look good through Kane Martin on that left half-forward flank. His kick along the boundary couldn't quite find a target, but they're fighting hard inside forward 50. A free kick again. Goes the way of Sale for too high. So some sloppy work there. We'll find Jordan Dessert with the ball 50 metres out with the boundary to his right-hand side. He's not on the ground and he wants to play on quickly.
Martin, he gave the handball, who gave it back to Geordie Desson. Right foot kick, top of the square it goes. Brad with a big fly. Ball in dispute. Murphy taps it out to Brown, who's recovered from that heavy knock. Then a quick handball. Cantrell to Bailey, and they release the Tigers. They get as McDonald. Inboard kick to Giath, who looks to have gone up through the middle. Maybe they heard your call, Poppy. As Giath has it on the half-back, he's slowed things up. No options. A handball to Brown. His right foot kick to half forward. McAuliffe is the target. It's going to bounce in his toes and go over for a boundary throw in.
Once again, I'm not sure if this is a common theme with the Morwell Footy Club. What a clean disposal, or what a clean exit from the defensive forward 50. It seems to be when they get to the middle of the ground, things start to get a bit shaky. But I tell you, at this point in the game, I'm glad us three boys picked them by 30 points.
I tell you what, the ball movement when they've got some room is very good. I have to agree with that. They have looked good when they've got some room. They don't mind sharing the ball around.
A Popplestone jumping ship. I think I've heard that before.
Yeah, as I said, us four boys picked it. Sale have the ball now. They go towards the half-forward flank. Grandstand side. Good contest from the back. Jared Freeman over the top. Took ball and player and let his opposition know he's around the ball. The ball spills out. Sorry, boys. The ball spills out right half-forward flank. There'll be a boundary throw-in. Sailing to attack. The score's locked away, as you heard, 3-2 apiece.
Big moments thanks to Monticello, Smirnoff, Jim Beam, Johnny Walker and Gordon's Gin, all 700 mil, 2 for 70. As the ball comes back in, Abbas does some groundwork. Handball across to Charles. Gave it to Giath, who can run away. Draw the handball again to Bailey. He's racking them up this afternoon. There's a downfield. Johnson doesn't want to know about it. He's gone off on the interchange, but it was certainly downfield, and the Tigers go quick again. McAuliffe to Anderson. Waits for it. Tries to get on his chest. Thacker spoiled. Anderson has to go again. McDonald is there. He's busy at ground level. Got ripped off it when he didn't have the football, and Cody McDonald will have another shot on goal. This time a little bit closer in on that 45-degree angle, and he can get 2 in the quarter.
I'll tell you what, fellas, that was the closest look I've had at Abbas when the ball was thrown in right in front of us here. And I tell you, if he was lining up against me in the ruck, I think I'd just let him tap it, because his legs are the size of quite large trees.
Yeah, certainly is a big man. Cody McDonald is the complete opposite. He's light, he's tiny, he's quick. He's kicked a goal in this quarter. Can he get 2 in the quarter at the 16-minute mark to take the lead for the Tigers? And he puts it through the middle. And the Tigers are in front for the first time.
I tell you, I wish I had been down there at the Tigers huddle at quarter time, because whatever was said, it was not only said, it was absorbed by the players, and they seemed to be executing what you could see they were maybe hoping to execute in that first quarter. I think that was the 3rd goal from about 8 inside forward 50 entrances this quarter, which was pretty much the complete opposite to their first. I think they had 8 entrances or 9 entrances without pretty much a score in that first quarter. So what a beautiful turnaround.
And that takes Morwell back into the lead. They did, but Darryl have a brief lead, 2 points to 1 point early in the first quarter, but that is another lead change, taking Morwell a goal ahead.
Well, here goes Abbas through the middle again. McAuliffe this time didn't get the free. I thought he was ripped off it, gave it to Duve. Back to Abbas. Hasn't got a left foot, so his right foot on the outside of the boot didn't quite come off, but it's inside their forward 50. Leslie, though, little scrubber, doesn't quite get out. It does now. Close to the boundary line, and over it goes. Boundary throw-in. We've got some around-the-ground checks for you, all for Harvey Norman Furniture Gippsland for a limited time only. Get a big $1,000 gift card at Harvey Norman when you buy interest-free. Druin and Bairnsdale, 1-5-11. Bairnsdale 4-1-25.
And Fish Creek 6-3-39. Stony Creek yet to score. Newborough locked away at 32 apiece. Hill End by 2 points over Morwell East. MDU trailing Foster by 11 points. And Ballara 4 goals ahead of Tura.
Wonthaggia a goal up on Tarralgon as well. That's a progressive score for you there. Mafra continue to put the pressure on Warrigal. They're 5-5-35. Warrigal a 2-1-13. And Tyson's going to get us an AFL score in the moment. That Leongatha Moe score is still a quarter-time one as well. And the AFL score is Tyson.
Yes, you know what, boys? I don't think they've come back from half-time yet, but we're still looking at 7-5-47 for Port Adelaide, leading the Suns 2-1-13. Can't be far away from that third quarter getting started.
Well, not much happened here in the last 30 seconds. The Tigers go inside 50, but Leslie again had the intercept mark. He got the switching kick out to Laverty, who got Martin on the outside. He's got him on the half-back flank. They got the overlap. Nice now, the Magpies. Gets it to Jackson Glenane. He's got a bit of pace, space, I should say, on that outer wing. Drives it inside forward 50. Brad Desson goes up. Can't quite mark it. Murphy at ground level drags it in. He's got an assail opponent trying to drag it as well. He was lucky. The ball up. Top of the 50. Sailor attacking, 8.5 minutes gone. The margin 6 points now in favour of the Tigers.
I know it's easy to say. I know it's easy to get caught up in just the play that we've seen. Sale, for a team that's well and truly above Morwell on the ladder, are looking very shaky at the moment, which is something I didn't think I would say early in this first quarter.
So Joyath converts beautifully and enforces what you're saying, Tice. They're looking better. Finds Hecker, left half-back flank. Starting to find targets that they couldn't find in the first 30 minutes along the line. Nice work to Zero behind the play. In fact, it was Thacker got a left fist to the ball ahead of a leading Morwell player in Doob, who's been pretty busy. So there'll be a boundary throw-in, grandstand side. Morwell, the home side, leading by 6 points. 5 minutes gone into this second quarter. Free kick behind the play will go the way of Giath, who I've got to say he's been a bit busier in the last 5 or 6 minutes, really, since he's
in the middle.
Yeah, coming to the centre of the ground. He's certainly having more of an impact, but can he find a teammate here? He can't, over the top of a number of players, but not finding the player that he was wanting to, and it now lands in the lap of Laverty for Sale, who outside defensive 50 finds his teammate in Sweeney, who can now settle or play whatever he chooses to do.
Well, he draws the opponent and then gave a handball to the run of Martin. The experienced midfielder from Sale, left foot, drives it towards Freeman, who can mark.
Nice.
And he's a good forward. He presents well, and that time in front of Anderson took the contested grab on a really tight angle, though. As we've travelled 20 minutes in this second quarter, it's been all the Tigers. They've kicked 3 goals, and it could be similar to the first. Sale got the first 3, then the Tigers got one late. And in this second quarter, well, the Tigers got 3 in a row, and now Freeman's going to get one late, or might get one late for the Magpies. So Jared Freeman strolls back into the field of plays on a really tight angle on the far side of the ground. The man on the mark doesn't move, except his arms swinging around like a flappy man that you might see at Harvey Norman on a Saturday morning. Puts it through for a minor score.
I think if we ever see a man on the mark do that again, that should be rewarded as an automatic free kick or re-kick to the bloke, because that was ridiculous.
A 5-point lead to Morwell at the 21-minute mark of the second quarter. Gippsland Live scoreboard.
All right, they come grandstand side to the Tigers as they bring the ball back in, and Jacobson, who's been pretty solid today, goes inboard. Risky kick, doesn't find the man. Gets a favourable bounce to Bailey, and off they go through Murphy towards the other side of the ground, towards right half-forward flank. Cut off nicely, though, it was by Kyle Simpson. And he's on the edge of the corridor, so about 30-degree angle. He'll kick from right on 50 metres. It's going to take one of his best.
Gee, they mucked that one up, the Tigers, I think, with the switch. Just decided to come inboard a little bit too quick.
They usually use the ball better of that than they did on that occasion. And here they go now. Nice kick to within 49 metres. Oh, doesn't make it. Sale thinks it's made it. It has made it. The Magpies get to within. In fact, they take the lead by a point again. Couple of lead changes there, Paul Carter.
It certainly is probably the second lead change of this quarter. At the 22-minute mark of the second quarter, the Gippsland Live scoreboard shows Sale, I've got it the wrong way around, 4-3-27 to Morwell 4-2-26.
I really like that by Kyle Simpson. I'd been thinking for the last couple of minutes that it seems that the message to Sale is, hey, let's get and go. But when the get and go is not working, I think it's time to settle it down, slow it down, and start to get some cleaner possession. That's a nice balancer for Sale.
Well, back to the middle this time. It was Musil trying to get a handball out. Bailey overran it. Giath was in there as well. This Simpson again won it and then just threw it, holding the footy. Boyd Bailey, he's starting to get involved. And one of the best for the Tigers for Gippsland Ozuzu.
16th disposal for Bailey.
Yep, drives that right left foot into it, in towards Hecker, one of the smallest men on the ground, comes to ground. Sweeney was there, they got some numbers. Swooping on it quickly as well was a teammate for the Magpies who get it out towards Allison, who can take the nice mark on the half-back flank. They've just settled in the last couple of moments, have the Magpies. Getting close towards half-time. Allison looking for an option, no one really around for him. As this time he decides to just kick it down the line. The target is Jordan Dessert. Big spoil by Musil. Nicely drove there by Jack McLaren. He goes inside forward 50. Murphy's got the spot there. Dessert was in the front spot. Did well. He roved it and then had a fresh air with a handball. And he met suddenly, run straight into Jacobson, who was under pressure when he grabbed that footy as well. And the umpire will say, my ball. Some 60 metres out. Brad Dessert throwing his weight around.
Yeah, he had the opportunity to find a player running past, didn't he, after fumbling the mark? But anyway, a quick kick out of a pack by Lang is way offline, and not only does it hit the Isuzu on the windscreen, won't damage the Isuzu, but the ball might be suspect. Ball is given back to Morwell, who are in defensive 50. They'll take the free kick. Scoreboard in the background of the player with the ball. Sale 4-3, Morwell 4-2. The kick from Morwell is just, well, it's terrible. Goes from out of bounds on the full to out of bounds on the full. So now we'll see what our man from Sale can do in Johnny McGuinness. He'll keep the ball in play. Can he find a teammate? That's the key! And I think he has. No play on's the call. Nicely done by Jack Johnson. Took the ball, tried to feed it out, but it was a free kick against Dowsett for throwing. Will go the way of the Tigers.
Jacobson goes short again, and they've given it straight back to the Magpies. This time, Jack Johnson goes inboard lateral with a beautiful kick, and he finds Jack McLaren. Well, the Tigers are stuffed around with it the last couple of exits out of their defensive 50. Tyson?
I was going to say, I can't believe 5 minutes ago I was praising the defensive side of the team. After the last couple of minutes that we've seen, it makes it hard to believe that they were probably the best part of the team earlier in this quarter.
As we said, Tyson, we're well and truly on the Magpies.
So McLaren comes in from about 48, puts it on its way and puts it through the middle and make the Tigers pay with some costly mistakes in the back half.
So from your perspective, fellas, I'm interested to know, so not much seems to have changed apart from a couple of ineffective kicks out of the defensive 50. As a result, Sale have kicked 2 goals straight. What is the difference there? What has caused that quick switch in play?
I think Sale have just pressed up a little bit further, which just have now clogged those gaps as the Tigers were able to hit those short little targets. Now they've pressed up the ground and those options aren't there and the space isn't there and the Tigers are turning them over.
Yeah, the pressure's starting to build, isn't it? And I reckon a few times, Tyson, you made the point that Morwell's opportunities come as a result of mistakes from Sale rather than good play by Morwell. I reckon we've seen the same in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, the Sale lead by 7 points and they won the clearance. They got it to Martin.
Hit the post, did it?
Yep, hit the upright. Wow. Minor score.
Now 5-4-34. Sale are 8 points ahead of Morwell, who are 4-2-26.
They bring the ball back into play, that 8-point margin favouring the visitors. The kick out of defensive 50, poor again. It feels as though there may be some moisture in the air as well. I can't see the rain, but certainly the skills have dropped off just marginally, especially for Morwell and especially in their back half. On this occasion, a free kick to James Jacobson, who was one of the culprits just a few moments ago, who changed direction. This time, he'll go along the line. Safety says go long, and that's what he does. Good fly, good high fly by Morwell. The player that went high was Anderson, couldn't take the ball. A free kick against Sale, who picked up the spillage but didn't get rid of it legally. It will go the way of McAuliffe, who's been good. He's kicked a couple today. Feeds off quickly, finds his teammate, and McAuliffe, or as I said, McAuliffe, inside forward 50. A kick off the ground, outside forward 50. Nicely taken it was too by Jamie Sweeney. But guess what? Giath. He's having a quarter that you'd expect him to have. Plays on quickly, dances around the man of the mark almost too easily, and then takes a bounce, feeds off. Risky move. Can they get out of trouble? Giath taken off the ball illegally. He's feeling the pinch of that, still on the ground. But Sale play on quickly, and they kick it, unfortunately, to a pack of tigers.
Yeah.
It's always dangerous to be in the middle of a pack of tigers.
So McAuliffe had it, then gave it to Musil. Gets it to the outside, and Duve, good spoil out there by Thacker. A double fister, and then followed it up with a bit of hard work. Duve does well, though, at ground level. Underground handball goes in the way of Hecker. He's under pressure. Kick dribbles along the ground. McDonald can work in a phone booth, but not on this occasion. The boundary line beats him to it, and Giath is still down. And that ankle injury, I think it's the same one. It's the left one. And he's just come back from an ankle injury. He had the 3 weeks obviously off like everyone, and he missed a couple before that as well. So it's been a good 4 or 5 weeks. And he hobbles to the boundary line, and, well, that's not the sight that the Tigers want to see. He comes to the bench, and that could just about be his afternoon done. Ball was back into play, but the siren sounds. And right on half-time, it was the Tigers getting away to a quick one. They got 3 goals in a row. The Magpies fought back and got the last 2. There is going to be a shot after the siren here, boys, by James Jacobson. The man on the mark will be 55 metres out from goal. I'm not sure James Jacobson has the distance.
I think Malcolm Blight.
And now the umpire says, no, you're not having a shot. I don't know if he said you're not going to make the distance anyway. Or...
It must have been convincing.
Yep. Or James was just umpiring himself and said, it's my free kick, I'll do what I want.
We had nothing to lose. Why wouldn't you have
I
a
would
go?
have thought you're entitled to have a shot from wherever.
You can have a shot from the half-back flank if you like.
Well, maybe the free kick wasn't there.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe the player, James Jacobson, was just telling everyone what was going on. As it turns out, no further score. It is half-time, and Sale lead it. 5-4-34. They lead the Tigers 4-26. It was 12 points at quarter-time. It's now 8 points in favour of the Magpies at half-time. You're listening to Gippsland Live right here on TRFM, right across Gippsland and the Valley. It is all thanks to Harvey Norman Electrical Gippsland. And don't forget, at Harvey Norman, get a Sunbeam Duro Ceramic Air Fryer for just $99.
Harvey Norman, your premium Optus dealer. Receive a $700 Harvey Norman gift card when you sign up to a new $65 a month, 24-month SIM-only plan with 80 gigabytes of data for use in...
Went down to Mornington. Big day, and then there's another couple of big trips, people that dropped out or whatever.
Honestly, as I said, it's my first day here, so I was just being influenced by what Senior Poppy had to say. I'm going to go with confidence based on the fact I'm going to hear about this all afternoon if I change my mind. Who are we going for again? Sale. Sale's winning by 34 points.
Well, third quarter about to get underway for McDonald's Gippsland New McCafe blend and the coffee fit for an Aussie at your local McDonald's store, as Abbas will do work against McGuinness. And he taps it nicely down. Couldn't quite get it there with the Tigers, so Lang swooped on it, gave it across to Allison, who came in off the wing, got it to centre half forward. They go up. Gooch couldn't mark it. Ground level, though, they work well. Here's Kane Martins. Handballs over his shoulder, looking for McLaren. Couldn't quite get a handle on it. Jacobson won it. Got his boot to ball and hits McFarlane on the chest and on the wing. Quickly gave it back to Jacobson. Kicks it high. Top of the 50 it goes. McDonald in a one-on-one strength battle. You don't see that too often. He won the free kick. Wow. Good work. It was White in the end.
I thought that was just a good, even contest.
So White gave away the free kick. It went to Glenn. And he goes inboard to Johnson, who quickly rolls and plays on and squares it up out to a teammate on the far side of the ground. It's Bowen, who finds a target in Whitford. He can run and carry to half-forward flank. Geordie Descent is the target. Lands at his toes, misses it. The Galea then closes quickly. They've got some numbers, though. Martin won it, goes backwards. Give a handball to Allison, back to Martin again. Stops, props, left foot, inboard kick to McGuinness on the wing. Squeezed a handball out the back. McLaren drives it inside forward 50. Brad Destin's the target. It's over their head. The Tigers have got numbers. Jacobson will be the one. He's under pressure at the back pedal from Gooch. Handball to Murphy. Sweeps the handball out to Linton. Outside his defensive 50 and found Bo White on the chest.
Yeah, good presence of mind. Good steadiness under pressure. And as you say, right half-back flank now. The Tigers look to go inboard. Play on's the call. In and out of trouble. Nice little feint and then onto the right leg along the line. But guess what? Jack Johnson, who's starting to have an impact on this game, takes another mark, looks inboard. Also wanting to find the short way home.
He's taken 4 steps, still no play on.
No, and play on's the call now. He kicks and threatens the forward 50. I thought Musil, front of the pack, had first hands on it. Play on was the call. Fighting hard at ground level. Ball spills out. Looks as though it may have went Allison's way. In fact, it was Freeman. He couldn't get a handle on it. Gives it off over the top. Musil gets a chance. Can he find a teammate? He looks and searches but can't find Duve. It pulls out the back now and nicely done by Sales Will Leslie. Behind the play, a player was taken high. I reckon it was Jack Johnson again.
Yep.
Appears to be appealing for the ball to come back his way. So almost smack bang, grandstand wing. Takes 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps, 3.5. And then play on's the call. Kicks to the advantage of a teammate. Can he find him? No. Got 1 hand on it. Couldn't take 2, Jack McLaren. Then he lays a hard tackle. And then the umpire comes in and says, I'll ball it up. 45 metres from Sales goals. They're kicking to the Morwell end or the left-hand side of your radio. But they're trailing the home side by 8 points.
So the ball up will take place 48 metres from Sales goal. Bass just got thrown out the way. Play on to the umpire. Crashing his way through there was Johnson. Put Jacobson under pressure. Snyder tried to get a handball out. Couldn't do so in a good tackle from the Magpies.
I think even if these two teams have been training very solidly over the last 3 weeks away from the footy, it's going to be interesting to watch the match fitness for this last 40 minutes. I think there's a big difference between keeping fit on the training track and keeping fit, match fit. So I'll be interested to see the skill levels and how they're maintained for this last 35, 40 minutes.
So Shannon Lang from the stoppage kicks around his body. It's got there. Oh! Brad Desson goes up and takes the mark in the front of the pack. And right in the goal square, just about directly in front. Poppy's going to mark this one home.
Well, it was 1v3. Yep, 1v3. Certainly, Morwell should have made more of that opportunity. And what a great mark it was under pressure by Brad Desson. And all of a sudden, that lead could start to broaden.
Well, from about 5 metres out, should not miss and doesn't. Brad Desson gets the Magpies open up the third quarter and a nice little buffer now.
And as I was saying, fellas, really nice. You always see the skill level improve after a couple of weeks away from football. It's really nice to see that one go through. Now, it is. I'm really interested just to watch this last 35 minutes. I know it was a nice little goal there, just a little balancer, little stabiliser. But I often noticed, even in my own football, that the legs were very sore around this part of the game. Cramps started to kick in around this part of the game, even when I thought I was fit. So let's just keep our eyes on that. I'm interested just to see how that skill level and the ball is delivered around the field.
14-point lead, 4th minute mark of the third quarter.
Abbas took it out of the ruck, gave a handball to Bailey. I'll give you an update on the injury. I know the 2 that are missing for the Tigers at least. As Magpies win it back, Laverty took on the tackle from McAuliffe, steps around 1, gets it inboard nicely to McLaren, who drives it. It was on the other hand, it was Bowen, and a beautiful kick, not paid the mark, or was it a throw in the end? And Geordie Desson got pinged, so Galea quickly played on. Got it to Jacobson. The 2 players out for the Tigers is Tyler Brown and Quee Giath. So they're the 2 players that haven't come back after half-time. We'll just see if they make their way to the bench in this third quarter, but it doesn't look like it at this stage. As the Tigers have it in Jacobson in front of the grandstand. Kicks high down the wing in front of the opposition coach's box, and a big fly by Leslie, who takes the mark, comes inboard, misses the target. The Tigers with a chance. Anderson gave it to McFarlane, who gave it back to Zach Anderson. Under Charles, who got ran down from behind. And Jackson Glenane said, I'll take that footy, that's holding the ball.
So all of a sudden, what could have been a thrust into attack has become a mad rush to defend. As the player with the ball for sale now is Mitch Bowen. Goes towards the outer side, right half forward flank, one-on-one contest. Tries to kick to the advantage of Allison. Can't find that player. Johnson's around the ball. Picks it up. Pirouettes with ball in hand. And a Tiger opponent holding on to his Guernsey. But a quick kick forward by Thacker starts to put some extra pressure on Morwell inside the forward 50. In fact, it spills over the boundary line as I speak at the intersection of forward 50 and boundary line. Outer side of the ground. Morwell are trailing by 14 points. We've gone 6 minutes of this third quarter.
Ball comes back into play. Abbas worked McGuinness out of that one. Bailey tries to crash through. Little handball there from Charles, just missed the target. Allowed working hard at ground level with Shannon Lang. Squeezed a handball back to Jack Johnson. Steps around one. Goes back to Lang. Tries to get onto the right foot. Handball goes to Martin. His left foot goes in towards Descent. Coming out and standing strong was Cale. In front of the steam train that came out of full forward. And Cale Mark gets it to the wing. Anderson has to work hard on Leslie. Big spoil from Leslie over the back. Ground level work. Wade Anderson's there. Squeezed it back to Bailey. Quick kicks, partially smothered. Anderson flicked a handball back up to Bailey, who ran on to Zach Anderson. Back to Bailey. Squares it out to the wing. And Jacobson's all on his own, but he's got Johnson closing quickly. It sits. Johnson nails him in a tackle. Ball pops out. Johnson stands up, falls to ground, and the umpire will ball it up. True centre wing. 7 minutes gone, and the margin is at 14 points in favour of the Magpies.
Hey, beautiful tackle by Big Johnson there. I wasn't fully convinced that the opposition player was holding the ball at the stage that he grabbed him, though. I thought that could have been a free kick.
Well, I can see that what you've alluded to, Tice, is that some of these players are starting to run on the spot with heavy legs because the pressure hasn't stopped, but the physical ability to keep up is starting to test. And now Sailor applying the real asset as that ball spills out from Lang towards the outer side. Nicely done by Descent. Inside forward 50. They need a winner here. Ball at ground level. They probably haven't had that crumbing player up forward that they need desperately. And right now they'd pay anything to get one.
Yeah, that player's Jack McLinden, who's not playing today. So he's the one they're after.
Yeah, they've just missed that for most of the day. Ball to be thrown up 25 metres from Sales goals, directly in front. Ground level. Ball fights hard. Can it find a gap? It can't. A kick is smothered off the boot. And I tell you what, the pressure has not eased 1 cent. George Descent now. A quick kick forward, though, by Allison. Top of the square. Falls to ground. Can they get themselves out of trouble? The Morwell side, they can, but only momentarily. It comes out of defensive 50 and nicely fell in the hands of Hecker.
He comes in board. He's got a runner in Charles. Can he hit him in stride? Oh, he dropped the mark and went to ground. The worst thing you can do. Sailor got some numbers, and they've got numbers everywhere. Managed to get the ball out. Here goes Jordan Dowsett into the shallow pocket. Linton can mark for the Tigers and go short to Arangi. Keeps it in just inside the field of play. Arangi looks to go inboard, as they've done all afternoon, the Tigers. There's no real option there now for him. He's still looking there, though. He wants to come inboard and eventually just forces the issue, and he's missed the target. This will be costly. Johnson, one bounce, 60 out, drives at top of the square. Descent's got two to beat. Cayley and Descent, up they go. Tigers have got good numbers back. Zach Anderson clears it and got it to Linton, who can clear it again. It's a one-on-one contest. Hecker was there. Good spoil there was from Kyle Simpson. And we'll have a boundary throw in. But every occasion, Tyson, they just want to bring it inside on that 45, and that was a dangerous one.
Jack Johnson's running hot. 8 disposals in the first 9 minutes of the third quarter.
Thanks to Gippsland Isuzu Ute this afternoon.
Ball thrown back in. Left half forward flank. Sail into attack as they've had or have been for majority of this third quarter. McFarlane feeds it off. Can't get the 1-2. Nicely done, but Hecker couldn't hold on it. McFarlane comes back, feeds it off.
Good hands.
And again, they do it nicely through Arangi towards Abbas, who got the free kick. Abbas just outside forward 50. A bit of heat in the game behind the play, but importantly with the ball, Abbas goes searching for the smallest player in his team and was never going to find him, unfortunately. They've done that a little bit today. Both players, as they've entered forward 50, probably haven't made the most of their opportunities.
As the ball went forward then for the Tigers, McFarlane, after he was tackled or after he was disposed of the ball, he copped a real nice one to the back of the head. Really lucky it wasn't seen, because it would have clearly been a free kick, I think. There's a bit of heat in that.
Ball thrown back in. Abbas, back of the pack. Oh, tapped it down nicely. Roved, left foot kick, missed. An opportunity gone begging there for Morwell. Bread and butter conversion there, but left foot snap around the body, just couldn't straighten up. So a behind for Morwell, Paul Carter.
13-point lead to Sale, 10.5 minutes in the third quarter. McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, Sale 6-4-40, Morwell 4-3-27.
Luke DeCirio could be the player for the Magpies. It hasn't come back out after half-time. So both sides with a couple of injury concerns. The Tigers have got 2 down, and the Magpies just look a little bit on top of the ground at the moment. That kick out of fullback hit Martin, and he got it to the wing. Is a beautiful left foot kick to Jackson Glenane, and he's got Brad Descent all on his own on this back side. It finds him top of the 50. There's no one in the goal square, so he swings around. He sprayed the kick, and coming back, the Tigers have got some numbers. Zach Anderson helped out Max Linton. they'll rush it through for a minor score. They got lucky there, the Tigers, Tyson.
It blows my mind whenever you see a ball coming inside the forward 50 and a bloke, even though it was quite a quick turnaround, there's a bloke standing with no one within 40 metres of him. That was lucky for the Tigers just then that wasn't a more serious response to what just happened.
14-point margin in favour of Sale on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard this afternoon. Tigers have got it at half-back. Arangi gave it to Hecker. Shivs was a kick down the wing to Jacobson, who couldn't mark. He's got a free kick, pushing the back. As it's going to go to James Jacobson. He's on the bench. There's Jack Johnson. Shouldn't even be in the field of play. And Jacobson has it. That's James. Chips a kick over the top to Bailey, who's been busy. Couldn't snag it in by one hand, and that one was touched. We've got a boundary throw in. 12 minutes gone. It is Sale 6-5-41, leading the Tigers by 14 points, 4-3-27 in this third quarter.
So Isaac Abbas will do the ruck work, and he'll be up against Jonty McGuinness. Ball spills front of the pack. Jack Johnson fighting hard, couldn't get a handle on that occasion. Quick kick forward by Boyd Bailey, threatens the forward 50. In fact, goes inside forward 50, but only for a split second because the numbers are with the visitors, and the player with the ball at the moment was Swarsky, who feeds off and goes long. Abbas had to stand at the front of the pack. Tell you what, there was 3 or 4 players climbing up that Abbas ladder, and now the Tigers go into within 30 metres of goals. Spills out the back. Mutual first player there, can't get a hand on it. McFarlane can. In fact, Anderson can. A kick around the body, a little bit too much meat on it, and goes through for a minor score. Albeit they edge a little bit closer.
It's a 13-point lead to Sale, 6-5-41. Morwell 4-4-28, McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard.
Carpet Country helping dreams become a reality since 1981 as Leslie brings it back into the field of play. 3 Magpies there. Well done by Hecker, the only Tiger. Jacobson was down low with the eyes, found Wade Anderson at the top of the 50. They'll basketball this around the top. It's a good one. He found by White. Inside, just. He'll kick it from about 48 metres. I'm not sure he'll have the distance. He'll go back. He might be looking for a runner. Bailey presented. There's a bit of a space. Presenting now is Cantrell. They're all ignored. There's Bo White. He'll go lateral to Tom Cale. So he takes a mark outside 50. He is now outside. Sale got lots of numbers back. They chip it to the open space, and Musil got pushed in the back. Play on to the umpire. Squeezed at the back. Johnson will clear this one. It's going to come back, though. And Tom Cale takes a mark half-forward flank.
Well, pressing real hard, all 36 players forward of centre at the moment. Well into attack. They change direction like a basketball side would do around the key. On a basketball court, they do the same move on a footy field. The player with the ball at the moment is McAuliffe, who again goes around the key. And he finds a bounce who got rid of his opponent and couldn't take the mark. Unfortunately, Thacker was of no disturbance to him, but now the ball's been
out of bounds.
Out of bounds, much to the disappointment of Shannon Lang, who was convinced he kept that ball in play. The visitors 6-5-41, Morwell 4-4-28. Morwell into attack. Musil trying to get hands on ball, couldn't get front position. And again, Sale through nice movement, eased the pressure. McLaren kicks from half back towards half forward, outnumbered 3-1. Taken out of the play, unfortunately, and there was no need for it. So Jordan Descent will get the free kick when really he shouldn't have been in the play.
They go in ball. No. Dangerous kick. It's 4-on-1, and the one wins it. Kane Martin, left foot, drives it inside 50. Linton, who gave away the free kick, now takes the mark, saving a very opportunistic chance for the Magpies. There's a Tiger player down as well. And Bailey has it, goes to the wing, and it's a beautiful kick, found Musil. Handball off quickly to Cale. He strolls in the centre square. He's going to square it up. Yeah. It's a wobbly switch, but it's going to come off. Hecker has it. Presenting is Jacobson. Has to go up and fly. Takes the mark in front of his eyes. Chips it inboard on the 45 over the top. Oh, and that's a free kick to Snyder.
He got one in the Snyder, didn't he?
He did, and Snyder goes. It's a wobbly kick just inside forward 50. Trying to come the other way there was Whitford. And has given away a free kick, Jack Johnson. And it's going to Kane Arangi. He's got one in. Bailey's on the inboard. He goes to him and he marks. So Boyd Bailey, he's had a big game this afternoon, continues to rack up the stats for Gippsland Ozuzu, Paul.
And it's 8. This will be his 25th disposal for the match and 8th this quarter.
A much-needed opportunity here for a goal for the Tigers. They trail by 13 points. He skips in from 49. Puts it on its way. They've called, what's the umpire called?
A Shepherd on the mark.
Well, look, the kick missed, so he's going to have another shot.
I tell you, fellas, one bloke as the ball comes back that I've been impressed with this quarter is Caleb Daniel, not look-alike, but same stature in Josh Hecker. He's a little whippersnapper. He's been going up against some of the big boys in the marking pack, but I've been really impressed with his disposals and his delivery of the ball down forward.
Very clean.
Well, he'll have another shot this time. He runs in from 48 this time. Well, he's had a cider, and this time he's done exactly the same thing.
Tell you what, he's consistent, wasn't it? That
Yep.
couldn't have changed by a millimetre. That just went. I think it landed in the exact same spot that first ball did.
No, that was just a TV replay we were watching. So here we go. Sale goes short, and they find Will Leslie with the Morwell goals just 25 metres behind him, directly behind him. He looks to his left and he looks to the right. He decides to go short to the left and find his teammate in Mitch Bowen. Mitch Bowen, though, takes a bigger risk and goes inside the corridor. And they start to work their way through. Thacker's going to play on quickly. Left-hand handball in the direction of Bowen again. Dances around one. Does it nicely. Whitford it was, in fact. It goes towards the centre square. Tell you what, there's not a lot of room to move. But McLaren moved well and took the ball on. Wants to play on grandstand side. He finds a teammate with some room to move in Simpson.
Yeah, well, Shannon Lang just come on the ground. He might get this.
Oh, dear.
Is that downfield?
It shouldn't have been, but...
Well, it is. The umpire said Sweeney will take it. And Poppy's not happy there.
Truly.
Jamie Sweeney right in front of the grandstand. Kicks it close to the boundary line in front of the social rooms. Lang goes up with one hand. Couldn't mark it. Kaylee was back. Handball's out wide. They've got numbers out the back. Anderson has it. Squares it across to Galea. And he can sweep a handball over the top to McDonald, who can run. It sits up for him. Steps around Martin. Comes back inboard. Right foot kick goes high. There's no one in the middle of the ground. It goes that high. And it still doesn't allow the Tigers to get back and make a contest. And taking the easiest of uncontested mark was Kyle Simpson.
Well, Simpson had 5 teammates alongside or behind him without a Tiger to be seen.
They go to centre half forward and Johnson ran underneath it. Allowed Musil to mark, who's got one on the wing, and it's Zach Cantrell, but there's no Tiger forward, and he just has to wait and slow it up. He's still got hold of it. Chips one over the top to Bailey, who just continues to run. Now he plays on, gets around Leslie. Left foot kick, 1-on-1. Here's Jacobson. Found a little bit of room, and he marks on his chest. Well, in the end, it was well weighted.
Beautiful movement forward, really, to find a gap in that sort of pattern of play that Sale had set up. There was no excuses not to. It's not as though they didn't have time to mark every single player, but the disposal that you called brilliantly, Scud, was correct. Needed to be, inch perfect, and it was. And all of a sudden, that 12-point margin could become 6 in the dying minutes of this third quarter.
We've only had one goal kicked in this quarter. The Tigers haven't got one. Jacobson comes in. He's pushed it. And these are the chances the Tigers need. He's actually missed everything. Wow. So no score. Paul Carter already written down a point.
I'm not 100% sure what's going on here, fellas. I understand when the ball's deep in your opposition's forward 50 that you might be pushed up past the centre, but to have the ball not that far outside your forward 50 and have no options inside in case of a quick turnaround, it doesn't make sense to me.
No, It doesn't. And anyway, we'll see if they pay the ultimate price. The ball at the moment in the arms of Max Linton, who goes inboard inside the corridor. Nicely done. Zach Anderson's the player with the ball. They go from grandstand side to the outer side of the ground through Bo White. Bo White now finds a teammate. No. Nicely rove Jack Johnson. Free kick, chopping the arms as Jack Johnson was just about to take the ball out of defensive 50. And guess what? James Jacobson, it's like the TV is rewound for the second time. We'll get a second opportunity from almost the same spot on the field.
That's his 11th disposal for this quarter.
Oh. He's been very good.
9th kick.
Out of bounds on the full.
Yeah.
Paying $1.05.
It's one thing to get the ball. It's another thing to make use of it. And if he's learnt from his last opportunity, he should get closer. Well, he has. He's got a point.
I can't wait to see his next kick. That's going to go straight through the middle.
Yeah. So all of a sudden, it's inside 2 goals, Paul Carter.
It is. It's 11 points on the McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard. Sale 6-5-41, Morwell 4-6-30.
Oh, big moments right now with the Tigers. They need something in this third quarter thanks to Monticello's. The Corona and Vic bit of stubbies, only $46. The Magpies are hemmed in their defensive 50. The repeat forward 50 entries build a little bit of pressure, but can they put it on the scoreboard? Shannon Lang goes out wide. Good kick. And found Gooch, who's on a long way from home, searching lead. He's just close to his defensive 50. Martin missed about on it. As he jogs back, takes the uncontested mark, looking to switch it. No real option. This goes long down the line. Johnson will fly. Abbas will spoil and get a fist on it. Boundary throw in. Centre wing, 21.5 minutes gone. The margin, 11 points.
Been a bit of an arm wrestle this quarter, hasn't it, fellas? Hasn't been a whole heap of action on the scoreboard, but both teams seem to be still playing rather well, with the exception of a couple of goal kicks.
A real strange quarter indeed, Tyson. It's certainly we had a bit of free flowing in that second quarter. The first half was quite good. It's become, as you said, a real arm wrestle.
So Abbas with the ball, in fact taken off the ball, nicely done by Gooch, who's having a turn in the ruck, goes towards Lang, either side wing, kick poor. In fact, it was smothered. I should take the shine off the kick. It was the good work of Morwell that smothered the ball over the boundary line. So there'll be a boundary throw-in outer side of the ground. They played 21, nearly 22 minutes of this third quarter. Morwell 4-6-30, Sale 6-5-41. Over the border, Port Adelaide are making light work of the Gold Coast, and we'll update you on what we can mid-Gippsland and other Gippsland Latrobe games at three-quarter time, which is only a handful of minutes away. The ball outer side of the ground, right half forward flank, Sale into attack and leading by 11 points.
So Abbas and Gooch will do the ruck duties. Lots of numbers around this stoppage on the half forward flank. McCall have tried to win it. McDonald was back there as well. He's just seen it be moved up the ground a little bit. McDonald might be playing it as an extra midfielder. The Tigers only having 5 or so forwards at this stage, so an extra midfielder's rolled up, but the Sale defender's gone with him. They win this stoppage. Laverty got it across. Here's Martin, left foot kick, goes towards the other side, and Geordie Descent, well, that was beautiful play. Great vision by Kane Martin. He's a super player, and he found Jordan Descent, who is a lovely kick of the football as well. This to extend the margin, and this will be a really big moment of the game for Monticello's here if Geordie Descent can go back and put it through.
I was looking for the moment to say the next goal was going to be a crucial one, and this is the opportunity for Sale.
45-degree angle from 40 metres out. Jordan Descent puts it through.
Yep.
Straight over the goal umpire's head. Sale get 2 in the quarter. They push the margin out to 17 points, Tyson.
Yeah, Poppy, you said it earlier that it doesn't really matter how much of the ball you have unless you can make use of the actual ball that you have in your hands. It really doesn't matter. Now, we've seen Tigers have a few shots at goal, straight across the face, fall up short, be a little bit clunky in that forward 50. Doesn't take much for an inside forward 50 to a bloke like Jordan Descent, kick it straight through the goal. I feel like the ball hadn't been down there that long or that many times, but here we are. They've just extended their lead.
To 17 points at the 23-minute mark of the third quarter. McDonald's Gippsland scoreboard, Sale 7-5-47, Morwell 4-6-30.
Important for Morwell, Scud. Morwell now go forward, and let's see if Hecker can't find something for the home side. Inside their forward 50, the Tigers, nicely done. On the end of it's going to be Braden Dove, but he got rid of the ball. In fact, he fights hard through a diving attempt to keep that ball in his forward 50. Nicely done by Hecker again. He's been busy, as Tyson pointed out, real busy. From one long sleeve to another. A quick kick, not great. Cantrell gained valuable metage. Guess what? Hecker's back on the ground and fighting hard again, but geez, they're desperate. They just can't. And Abbas, as I speak, let one bounce off his chest. And unfortunately, they need to be a bit cleaner with the ball. Let's see now if Boyd Bailey can do exactly that.
Well, he's got a couple on the near side. Hecker's one. Allison got a hand on it, though, and it allowed Sale to come in. Jonty McGuinness was a bit clumsy as he tried to pick it up, and Hecker got onto it, wobbled one towards the top of the square.
No.
Dropped mark, the siren sounds. Well, Leslie dropped the mark. It's a minor score, and the score will count as well.
Wow.
So the score counted, and that was costly. That should have gone through. I think it was Jacobson in the end that snapped it around the body, and that would have been an interesting end to the third quarter. So the minor score does count, as the umpires just confirmed that. I think that was a minor score, and it was. So Sale is 7-5-47.
No, hasn't gone up yet.
And the Tigers are 4-6-30 at the moment on the scoreboard. Paul Cutter has it as 4-7-31. We'll get to three-quarter time. We'll come back with the score. That point does count, by the way. So the margin at three-quarter time is 16 points. And Sale lead it. You are listening to Gippsland Live. We've got 1 quarter to go in round 9 here at Morwell Rec Reserve this afternoon. It's all for Harvey Norman Electrical Gippsland. underway here. As the umpire holds it up, the margin 16 points in favour of the Magpies. Musil got it up. Tap down. He tries to do his own groundwork. Johnson was there with Bailey. They tap it backwards. Quick one there by Simpson. And a free kick will go in the way of the Tigers. Boyd Bailey will be the recipient there in the middle of the ground. Johnson already the midfielder rolls back. He's such a workhorse for the Magpies. Leads from example as Bailey drives it in. Abbas will have the set. Here we go up and couldn't quite complete the mark. A big fly by Isaac Abbas. Comes to ground level. Trying to kick off the ground was Johnson, and Abbas wins a free kick. He's got some athletic prowess, does the big fella. And he just marks it out now. This will be about a 45, 48 metre kick. Tight angle. As you said, Poppy, this is a big moment for Monticello's.
Absolutely crucial. He gets this one. I thought Abbas influence in the centre square could have been the difference in the first few minutes, not kicking for goal from 45 on a 45.
Well, big moments for Monticello's this afternoon. Smirnoff, Jim Beam, Johnny Walker and Gordon's Gin, 700 mil, 2 for 70. Abbas rolls in from 45 and puts it on its way and straight over the goal umpire's head.
I tell you what, Poppy, you called it just a couple of minutes ago at three-quarter time. That opening goal, all of a sudden, they're within 10 points. They get a good sniff now. And imagine being only 1 minute into the final quarter, closing that gap down. That's got to do a world of good for your confidence, especially here at your home ground.
And Isaac Abbas with a Gary Rowan replay kick from last night takes Morwell to within 11 points at Sale 1 minute into the final quarter. The Harvey Norman computer scoreboard has Morwell on 5-7-37, Sale 7-5-47.
Musil down. Kicked off the ground by Bailey. Over to you, Poppy.
I was just going to say game on. We're all getting excited here, but game on, boys, isn't it? And Sale need to respond. They're going to try to do it through Simpson. He starts to threaten the half-forward line, but the Tigers are up to it at the moment through Carl. Gives it off and off they go. They do it through Musil towards that outer side of the ground. Nice, strong mark. Thought play on was the call, or should have been the call at least, as Allison, I reckon, maybe goes inboard looking for Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson plays on quickly, got a man spare, wants to give and go, can give and go. Larity, kick for goal! Just to the right, 1 point margin, less than 2 goals.
Back out to 11 points, and it's Sale 7-6-48 and Morwell 5-7-37. Harvey Norman computer scoreboard.
I tell you what, that would have been the worst possible response from Morwell, wouldn't it? That would have been a real settler to the nerves. But here we are. They've brought it back in, out from the defence. A really smooth defending team, I've thought, for most of the day.
Snyder got it out the wing area. Good spoil over the back. Allows Allison to kick around his body to get it back inside forward 50. Dessert went up. Couldn't quite get it. Tigers have got plenty of numbers. Snyder's one of those. There's Shannon Lang. Got tackled, got rid of the football though. Inboard handball now, goes towards Jordan Dowsett, flies at goal. Freeman's back, goes up. Oh, nearly a mark on the last line. That's rushed over for another minor score, Paul.
Now a 2-goal lead, 7-7-49 Sale, 5-7-37 Morwell.
So Boyd Bailey will bring the ball back in. You get a sense of deja vu. Third quarter, Morwell couldn't find the goals. Opening minutes, fourth quarter, Sale can't find the goals. They can find the boundary line, though. Nice punch over the boundary line against Kane Orangi. It was by Jamie Sweeney. So there'll be a boundary throw in, right half-forward flank in front of the TRFM commentary position. Darryl Cooling, Paul Carter, Tyson Popplestone.
And yourself, Rob Popplestone.
Yeah. No relation, just the same surname. Ball thrown back in, nicely done, over the top. It was by McGuinness. Can he find a teammate? He can't. You get the sense that would happen. The umpire will take control. So right half-forward flank, just 10 metres in from the boundary line. Sale into attack, nicely done. Oh, taken off the ball, a quick kick while the player was on the ground. Only goes as far as Johnson. A quick under-the-ground handball, couldn't find a teammate. Threads one through. That was Jacobson. He's been busy for most of the day. Players fighting hard to get handle on the ball. They can't. They're not too happy with Lang, who's been, along with Jacobson, a couple of the better players on the field today. This time McGuinness gets the ball, gets it down to Laverty.
Free kick.
His handball forward. He was held after he got rid of the ball with that handball. And now from right half-forward flank, we'll send the Magpies forward.
So Laverty into a dangerous spot. They fly at the back. Oh, got a hand on it. Brad Dessel was just about to take a mark on his chest. Musil was there. Snyder. Jacobson handballs over the top to Bailey. Under pressure. Kicks out towards Duve. And Leslie comes over the top, calls the spoil. And we'll have a boundary throw in right in front of us here at the Morwell Rec Reserve. We've gone 4.5, make it 5 minutes now. And the margin's been reduced by the Tigers. It's 12 points, though. 2 straight kicks. Ball back in. Ground level it goes. Tackled quickly there was McLaren from Bailey.
I've noticed you calling Jack Johnson a lot through the day. I think it's amazing, just in the real precious moments of a game like that. I feel like you've just turned up the notch on how often his name has been mentioned. He seems like a big play player.
Well, he's had plenty of it from this stoppage. He certainly is, Tyson. And I think we'll call his name a few more times in this last quarter as well, as Kane Orangi presents for the Tigers. Wheels around, gets called to play on, keeps it to the boundary line. Abbas is the target. Thacker is there as well. And a big spoil. That was a round-ass spoil. And Abbas will get the free kick. Gets up, shaking his ear. He's got the free kick, though. He's too far out to score. Rolls around, kicks it into a hot spot. It's to the shortest man on the field. Hecker will go back and mark at his chest. And I tell you what, if there's any man that will have a shot and is as good a kick at goal as anyone in this club for the Tigers, it is Josh Hecker.
You get the sense he can do a drop kick and
Yep.
through.
He is as small as Tony Liberatore. Looks a bit like him as well. He's got the curly hair. He's got the long sleeve right in front of the can bar at Morwell. There's plenty there around the fire. There's Hecker. You'll know what happens. The boys behind the goals will go up in one if he puts it through. He runs around, kicks around the body, and puts it through the middle if you don't mind. And there's your Monticello's big moment. Josh Hecker.
I tell you what, fellas, if you look to the AFL and even here at the Mid-Gippsland Footy League, I'm going to put out a point that there's not too many blokes under 5'6" who can't kick a snap around the body from that angle and put it through the middle of the ground. I'm not sure what it is, whether it's just that they've had to work on that for so long through their career, but it's amazing. As soon as it was in his hands, I felt confident that one would be slotted through.
Just 1 goal of difference on the Harvey Norman computer scoreboard. We've played coming up to 7 minutes into this final quarter. Sale 7-7-49, leading Morwell 6-7-43.
We've got an absolute cracker on our hands here. Johnson again through the middle, though. Won the clearance, gave it to Martin, sweeps it over the top to the run of Jordan Dowsett. He just handballs to open space. Glenane was there, gave it back to Dowsett. And the handball doesn't quite come off. Working hard there was McLaren, though, to Martin, to Glenane. Inside forward 50. Dessert will mark. No, he won't. On his chest. Jordan Dessert will mop it up. Front and square. Kick around the body. And Zach Anderson will mark on the last line of defence. And he'll clear it for the Tigers to Cale.
He will. So Cale now plays out, defensive 50. The heat's gone up in this game all of a sudden. 1 goal the difference. Sale trying to get into attack, and they will, because a free kick has gone the way of Jordan Dowsett, left half forward flank. A dozen or so Morwell players already in that forward 50 for Sale.
There's 2 free pop.
And there's not too much room for players to work with. We need a big mark, third up. Good attempt, couldn't take the ball down. Edges forward, Musil feeds it off quickly. Short kick comes grandstand side. Looking for a favourable bounce is the Tigers' Murphy. So Murphy comes grandstand side, and again, they just can't bust it out of that defensive area at the moment. Good fish by Whitford. Keeps the ball in the area through the way of a boundary throw-in. So they're 65 metres from home. They're 6 points up. We've played 8 minutes final quarter. Morwell 6-7, Sale 7-7. You get the sense in some ways Morwell seasons depends on a win today. They need to claw back into that vicinity that will threaten the top 5.
And they've been in close games, 2 or 3 of them, haven't they? Have been on the losing end of them this season. And the question will be, will it continue today, or can they get over the top of Sale?
So right half forward flank, Musil again. McGuinness got the tap down for Sale. Hecker's having an impact on the game in the last quarter and a bit, and he gains 55 valuable metres before it spills over the boundary line. So from half back to forward of centre wing, there'll be another boundary throw in, and Musil will do the ruck work up against McGuinness.
So Musil in the front spot, taps it out to some open space over the back. Good work there by Laverty, and McLaren took on the tackler. Hamble over the shoulder to Sweeney. They're away now, the Magpies. Sweeping hand from Simpson to Lang. Chisels a kick to Freeman. Half forward flank build up. 2.5 kicks away from goal, you'd think. Freeman put it inside forward 50. Desson on a long searching lead. Linton in front. Desson ground work. Squeezed a Hamble across the gooch. Back to Desson, who dropped it. Now Anderson comes in. Strong work by Brad Desson, ground level. Ball in dispute. Desson jumped on the top of Anderson and gave away a free kick.
Just too eager.
It was. Half-back flank defensive 50 for the Tigers. Zach Anderson has it. Gets up and takes his time. Goes backwards, in fact, to Snyder. He got called to play on. There's no one around. He's going to have to go back to Murphy short. They're hemmed in their defensive side. Go short. You wouldn't want Murphy kicking too many short ones. But that one comes off to Musil. And I tell you what, Metamucil might come in handy in this last quarter. As he's on his defensive 50, gets called to play on. The target's going to be Wade Anderson or Boyd Bailey. And coming across the back, third man up was Sweeney.
So Jamie Sweeney looks inside the corridor. The kick has to be perfect. There was a Sale player in the middle of 3 Tigers, and he found that player nicely. Shannon Lang, who's been good for most of the day, just needs to find a teammate with this next kick. And they're a step closer to winning the game. Plays on dangerously, kicks to the top of the square, 2-on-1 contest. Ball spills to the front. Hecker takes it in one hand. He's taken in with 2 hands by McGuinness. And there'll be a boundary, in fact, a ball up, 45-degree angle, 30 metres from home. And the cramps and the physical pressure that Tyson alluded would happen is starting to happen now. McGuinness jumps high, edges the ball metres forward. Can he find a teammate? He can't. Desperation from both sides. Still trying to keep the ball in, and they do it nicely through Simpson. But he's done equally as well with a beautiful tackle, and that free kick will go the way of McCauliffe.
He gave it off to Snyder. It's one-on-ones down on the wing. It's Arangi and Sweeney over the back. Here's James Jacobson. Gathers it, kicks around, kicks to some open space. Abbas is one-on-one with Thacker. He can gather. No, he doesn't. It goes over.
I'll tell you what, guys, the last 3 quarters, I've thought it had been a very polite game considering it was a Morwell versus Sale home game. I've just noticed the tension start to be turned up. A couple of straight elbows, a couple of nasty hits. I reckon watch this space the last 10 minutes.
Oh, absolutely. Game on for sure. Shannon Lang was great in the stoppage. Gave it to McGuinness. The run from Johnson was good as well. Howe forward kick goes towards Gooch. Couldn't quite mark. Linton was there. He looked to the boundary and he finds it as he crashes in to the Sale opposition box, and up they get. We've got another boundary throw in. 12 minutes gone. 6-point margin in favour of the Magpies, but the Tigers are coming. As Musil, McGuinness will do battle again. It's going to clear their head. No, in the front spot there, Musil put it down. Johnson was there, fell to ground. Hecker picked it up. Great work. Squeezed the handle out. Here's McFarlane. Gathered it. Quick hands to Charles. Under pressure. Good chase. Got his boot away though. Sailor up for it. Sweeney to Leslie. He can run and carry, give a handball to Dowsett and get the 1-2. Leslie puts it to the other side. It might just come off. Cale was there. Tapped it to the open space. Here's Martin. We know he's a left footer. His right foot's not too bad. Top of the square it goes. 1-2. Brad Desson gathers. Kicks backwards. Not 15. Play on to the umpire. Geordie Desson steps around one and then puts it through with a right foot snap. We've got everything here at Morwell this afternoon. Sale get another one.
I tell you what, guys, I know the goal has just gone to Sale, but one bloke I just want to highlight for his effort in the last quarter, we've spoken about him a number of times now, is little Josh Hecker. I've loved his chase. I've loved how clean he is. I've loved his ability to get under the pack and get the ball out. Unlucky for the result from his perspective just then, but been really impressed with the ability he's shown to really turn up the heat in this tight part of the latter stage of this match.
Sale now at a 12-point lead, 13-minute mark of the last quarter, 8-7-55 to Morwell, 6-7-43.
Yeah, Morwell need one more Abbas and a couple more Heckers, and it could be anything. Anyway, the ball's in the centre of the ground, and it's Musil up against McGuinness. Hecker, the player we spoke of, under the pack, doing the hard work. Can't get the ball out. All of a sudden, they go for it again, do Sale. Can they find a teammate? This could be the killer. McLaren inside forward 50. Pressure is well and truly on Gooch. He can't find a teammate. He'll get a second chance. Feeds it off one more. Dance over the top. Into trouble was the man that kicked the last goal in Jordan Desson. Didn't have an opportunity to get rid of the ball, so the umpire will ball it up. They're 40 metres from goals. They're 2 straight goals up. We've played 14 minutes final quarter, and now Morwell eased the pressure. A beautiful left foot kick gathers all of 55 metres.
Yeah, it was from Bailey. They got it to the wing. Here's Bo White working hard. McFarlane's in there, head over the football. Squeezed a handball out to White. He gave it to Musil. Hecker's on the outside. It gets to him now. Arangi presents. Hits him up. Oh, at the toes. Couldn't mark. Ground level. Tries to pop up. Sweeney covers him and holds it in for a stoppage. 14 and a half minutes gone. Still plenty of time for both sides. You'd think the Tigers desperately need the next one. It's 12 points at the moment, but they trail by it. And Musil will do the ruck duties. Taps it straight down. Here's Charles bursting out of the stoppage. 51 metres, sprays it. It's going to miss everything and go out of bounds for a boundary throw-in.
Hey, probably not a bad result either. If you're going to have the ball down there, you'd rather it be balled in just next to your goal, wouldn't you, than to sail just to kick it straight down the guts.
Yep. Very true. Musil puts his hand up, so does Gooch. Tigers have won the last couple of stoppages. Musil in the front spot, grabbed it, got it out. Going to ground there was Thacker, couldn't get out now. Johnson handled to a dangerous spot. Thacker's there, got tackled when he didn't have the football. Play on, said the umpire. Now he'll wait and ball it up again. Top of the square. Tigers forward 50.
I would have thought the one bloke you want down there right now is a Bass, but he's about 50 metres back in the centre of the ground.
Well, he might get it in a moment. He's probably 2 kicks away from this, though. You're right, though, Tice. Here's McDonald. Had it, lost it, went and got it again. Tapped it forward again. Handball from Charles. Over the top. McFarlane has to work hard. Bailey tries the left foot kick. He's hurt himself. Kicked off the ground. That might hurt McAuliffe as well. 2 Tigers are down. Don't forget, they've already lost 2 players for the day, and Boyd Bailey's in all sorts of trouble, boys. I'm not sure. He'll have to dig deep to find something now. Forward boundary throw in. 16 minutes gone, Poppy.
Yeah, not a lot of goals, so not a lot of extra time, but so we've got a handful of minutes plus. As the ball inside, deep inside Morwell's forward 50. They need to convert as quickly as they can, but Sale are up to the contest and they go short. They do it through Dowsett. So Dowsett just settles it. The heat has been on. He goes short, needs to find a teammate and does. Nice work. So Cole Simpson on the end of that one? Or not?
Yep, spot on.
So Simpson takes the ball, goes short again, just absorbing the pressure. Sale at the moment, drawing Morwell up the ground. And slowly, Morwell are coming up the ground, the players.
Is it time
to go short again? Yeah, nicely worked. They do it well through Allison. So they've had 4 or 5 possessions and actually haven't really moved forward. In fact, guess what? They've had 6 now and lost 30 metres. But importantly, they're winding the clock down, keeping possession. As Mitch Bowen goes towards the outer side of the ground, he'll get it back, and he does. It's all very well to wind the clock back as long as you keep possession of the ball, and they've managed to do that, or have they? Now they're under pressure, but with 7 possessions, they're only 55 metres from home. And I tell you what, Morwell have got the ball, and they're willing to go forward through McDonald. They can't. And a ball up will take place. 50-metre arc, 45-degree angle. Morwell, the home side, trailing by 2 straight kicks.
So in the ruck duties, Musil and Gooch got it down there. Allison trying to crush his way through, quickly tackled by McAuliffe. He might be young, but he's a strong tackler, is McAuliffe. Inside forward 50s this last quarter, Paul.
4 to Maul now and 8 to Sale.
Well, they've made the most of it. 2 goals to 1 in this final quarter. They trail the Tigers by 12 points. They're attacking, though. We've gone 7.5 minutes. What do we expect this quarter to go, Paul? Previous quarters have gone.
I would say 28 is the longest. 24.5 was the shorter. So
yep, would have been
I'd say somewhere around the 26 mark, I would think maybe.
Right, so we're still looking at about 8 minutes to go, boys. McDonald from the stoppage. There's a free kick going to be paid towards the Tigers. And it's going Braden McAuliffe's way. Get it in there quickly. They get it out to the fat side. There's a lead from Bailey goes. It stands at his, drops at his feet, I should say. Now they work it. Jacobson just trying to get boot to ball. Didn't go too far. And Lang just picked it up. Burst away from the stoppage. One bounce. Runs outside 50. Finds a target. Yes, he does on the outside. It's Jackson Glenane on the far side. Holds things up. Bright sunshine now at the rec reserve. They're on the far side of the ground. Sale kick it down the line. The target looks to be Geordie Desson, but over the back was Murphy with 2 grabs. Couldn't get it. McDonald there for the Tigers. Close to the boundary line. Ripped off it. Sale in some tight traffic. Handball from McLaren. Gave it to Laverty. Left foot kick. Goes towards Freeman direction. And Zach Anderson comes to ground. Brad Desson's there to help out. Taps it to the open space. Jackson Glenane quickly there. Wrapped up in the Tiger tackle. And the umpire will ball this one up.
You asked the question before, fellas, is it too soon to be playing this short ball, just maintaining possession? I think the answer is yes. If we've still got 7 minutes left, a 2-goal lead, that's a long time to play with the ball and hope that you're not going to stumble.
Yeah, you're right. Every mistake can be crucial right now, and Sale are applying the pressure and hopeful of a more mistake as a left foot kick. I reckon from Gillane, was it?
Yep.
Was off target, but the margin is increased by 1 point, which is important given the situation of this game at the moment.
Takes Sale to 8.8.56. Maul 6.7.43, the Harvey Norman computer scoreboard. Now almost 20 minutes played.
3 scoring shots the difference as Cantrell brings the ball back in. Goes long, and probably that's the best option at this stage. Can he find a teammate? He can't. In fact, the player that he was searching for reached over the top and gave away a free kick, and Sale will come forward again. They'll do it through Ellis on the right half forward flank. Leads on. He did well to get rid of his opponent. The kick was perfect.
Smart.
And all that work was done well before the ball left the foot of Ellison.
Yep.
It was nicely done by Johnson, who wrestled with his direct opponent, pushed him off, gave him 2 or 3 metres, and then led hard. And Ellison was aware of exactly what was going on as Johnson goes short. Oh, no. Levity dropped what he could have taken, or Kane Martin at least. Ball still inside forward 50. Now Ellison will get another go. Look away handball. Nicely done. Not sure how Glenane got out of that. And not sure the damage was as bad as it could have been, but he did. And now with the ball is Mitch Bowen.
Hold the ball.
Runs the wrong way, tackled nicely. Morwell need to get some urgency in their game. And they need to do it right now through Cale.
So he gets to get boot the ball, and it towards a Bass will fly. Couldn't quite mark it, but he brings it to ground. Thacker was there. Working hard as well is McDonald. Bass puts on a tackle. They've got some numbers of Tigers. Can they squeeze a handball out? McDonald keeps his feet. Bailey was there as well. The Sale player down holding his leg as well. Holding his lower ankle, that is, for the Magpies. So for the moment, this might take a little while for him to get off. Play will continue, or will the umpires hold it up? And they decide to hold it up.
Usually they don't stop the game, do they, until there's a stretcher called for it, I thought.
Well, that's true. The umpires called time, and if it's just a rolled ankle,
I think the fact that the play, the stoppage is in the near vicinity of the injured player.
Fair enough.
Well, he's taken his time to get up. It is Nathan Whitford that was the injured player, so now he hobbles off. The umpire calls time. We'll get this underway. Whitford's going to make his way to the bench. Gooch got a hand on it on the far side of the ground and squeezing the handball out. Kick around the body there was from Leslie. Got to Glenane, who squeezed a handball again to the run of Lang. Inboard they go to Gooch. Gooch can give it back to Martin, who gave it to Lang, who ran on. He has one bounce inside forward 50. And to seal the game, Shannon Lang, I think you might have just done it. And he certainly has. What a player. What a passage of play from the Magpies.
There's a beautiful passage of play, fellas, as you've just called. I think one thing that I've noticed about Sale is the more they dance with the ball, the more they try and go for these contested possessions, the more they just do these cheeky little 1-2 kicks, the uglier it seems to get. I think that was a beautiful example of what they're capable of when they back themselves to run, to pass, to play, to go long, and then to obviously finish off with a nice clean kick for goal.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Darryl. I think that might be the match winner there. 19-point lead at the 22-minute mark of the final quarter. The Harvey Norman computer scoreboard shows Sale 9-8-62 to Morwell 6-7-43.
All right, ball back in the centre of Morwell Recreation Reserve, but not for long because it's going to go inside forward 50. My call is put a Bass and Hecker only in forward 50 and just bomb the ball in, because at the moment they're not finding a winner down there at all. Ball spills out again. The race is on. Can they get to the boundary? Beat them? It won't. A quick kick around the body goes to the man we just spoke of in Hecker. He's 75 from home. He'll probably, I tell you what, a Bass is in the goal square, but not moving from that goal square. Look at that for a kick. Absolutely beautiful kick that was by Hecker. Finds his teammate, and the teammate was Anderson, who kicks to the leading Abbas. Abbas can't take the ball, goes to ground, probably does that a little bit too much for a big man. And now there'll be a boundary, in fact, a ball up with the boundary line just a metre or two away there. 20 metres from their goals, Morwell, and desperate, absolutely desperate to kick a major.
Abbas just grabbed it out of the ruck, squeezed a handball towards McFarlane, who gave a handball to McDonald. Inboard kick, Mutual has it, can step around, right foot, he's got some space, he went backwards. Snyder was there, nearly fell over, now he won the footy. He can turn around, right foot kick, they got two that can raffle at the Tigers, over the back to Cale, quick kick, and it goes away to a minor score. And working hard out the far side was Zach Anderson, it was. Went through, though, minor score only. Paul Carter.
6-8-44 is the Morwell score. They are 18 points down on Sale, who are 9-8-62.
It's at the 24.5-minute mark. We expect this to go about 25-26 at best. We've had 4 goals kicked this quarter. It won't be a long one. Lavity will bring it back into the field of play for the Magpies. Time called back on, and Lavity plays on, goes to the far side of the ground. Big fellas out there, can't quite mark. There was Gooch. Ball in dispute at ground level there, a quick kick, and he's in all sorts of trouble, is Whitford, but he got the kick to the half forward who took the mark. Jordan Dessert gave it to Kane Martin inside forward 50. Brad Dessert all on his own, marks, turns around, rolls to the top of the square, and Brad Dessent gets his third of the afternoon.
I want to take it back to something you said a moment ago, Pop, and that's about Bass. I've noticed a number of times today, you're right, he's a coordinated guy and he's a big guy, but there seems to be I don't know if it's a lack of confidence or a lack of perhaps coordination around the contested possessions, but I certainly notice he's been coming down to the ground quite a lot as well, whether that's he's a bit light on his feet or he's being targeted. I'm not 100% sure what you put that down to.
Yeah, good call. You're right, he's athletic and he can get around all right, but it might be just those contested ones. That could just be the lack of football, perhaps, from the big fella, Paul Carter.
It's now a 24-point lead to Sale at the 25-minute mark. Harvey Norman Computer scoreboard 10-8-68 Sale, Morwell 6-8-44.
Ball thrown up and Musil gets a tap down, then tries to fight hard to get the second possession. Umpire will take control. Been a pretty good game as far as the umpires are concerned. We haven't really mentioned them too much though, which is always a sign they're doing their job well.
Yep.
Ball thrown up, Musil, McGuinness. I reckon Musil got a hand on that one again. Nicely done, ground level, quick kick forward. Will threaten forward 50 again for Morwell. But this is when they break down. In fact, they gave that one away. And now at the end of it, you'd reckon that Dowsett could ease some pressure. He backs himself in, takes one bounce. He might take two if he wanted. No, he kicks the ball towards centre half forward. Nicely done. Lang has been good when you've needed someone to be good. Behind play, I'll let Scud take an eye on that one. As the ball kicks to within metres of goals. In fact, it goes through for a minor score.
Yeah, well, Linton and Snyder both clashed heavily. Nothing untoward, but they're both in all sorts of trouble. And it was a head clash, I believe. I think Snyder's holding his head as well. He now gets up. And Max Linton is the one that has come off worst aware. I don't know what he wants to hold. He wants to hold his head, his ankle, his knee. And I think his spleen is just popping through as well at the moment. So Linton in all sorts. He'll be okay, though. He's a tough man. As kick out of fullback was from Gallier to Cale. Linton and Snyder both in the hands of trainers still. The kick goes towards the boundary line. A nice mark by Mitch Bowen. And Bowen now just takes his time, as you'd expect. 27 minutes have now passed. Goes towards McFarlane direction. That was the opposition. Gooch was there. Handball across to Jack Johnson. Kicks it into a dangerous spot. Snyder's going to have to do some work here. Quick handball from Freeman to Geordie Dessent. Gave it across to Shannon Lang. And he's got another one. Shannon Lang gets 2 goals and he's racking them up in this final quarter. And now the margin just extends. Well, it's flattering for Sale. A 31-point lead at the moment, and it certainly hasn't been that type of game.
What sort of margin did Tyson pick?
Tyson did pick 34.
Yeah, I'm usually a lot closer than that. I'm quite disappointed.
I'll tell you what, not bad for a ring in at the last minute.
A little bit of time to go.
28 minutes played with the siren going any second now, you'd think. And it's a 31-point lead to Sale on the Harvey Norman Computer scoreboard, 11-9 to 6-8.
Snyder makes his way off the ground. Max Linton has stayed out there, Poppy.
He has, and the ball's out there too. And I tell you what, some of their better players have stood up when the going got tough. McLaren's one of those players just as the siren goes. So that final score, Paul Carter,
is 11-9-75 Sale, a 31-point lead, a 31-point victory over Morwell, 6-8-44.
There it is, final quarter all done. We're going to send Poppy down into the room so we can find a player that we can have a chat to up in the box here. It was the Magpies wrestling their way to the front in the final quarter and then kicking away with it, and it was led by Shannon Lang, who had a good afternoon, got 2 last quarter goals. Geordie Dessent was great in the second half as well, along with Brad Dessent. We'll do the Gippsland Live wrap after this. We'll get you all the scores from around the grounds right across Gippsland and the Valley as well. We'll wrap things up from here. You've been listening to Gippsland Live right here on TRFM, and it's all for Harvey Norman Electrical. Save $600 on the Sony 65-inch X90J Android Smart TV now for only $2,400.